Pois é. Pá, era aquela cena do anão. Eu acho que foi desde a cena com o anão.
Pois, eu nunca mais me consegui citar direito, não sei o que é que se passa. Mas tu também não, portanto somos dois, não é? Quer dizer, tipo,
Tem que ser um anão, mas tinha mãos para toda a gente.
eu tinha mãos e muito membro.
Ok, bora começar?
Bora começar.
Alright, welcome back everybody. This is the BASTERCAST number 4. Welcome back, how you been? I don't care, no, I'm just kidding. If you find our phone number, feel free to call in with anything you want to say, questions, comments, anything you want, just let us know. But first you have to find us. I'm Antonio, I'm a film director, writer and actor, and I'm here with...
Bruno, I'm a film composer and an audio engineer, and I make stuff,
Yeah, we make stuff, and
So,
because we make stuff, both of us are together the creative bastards. So click the link below. There's a link there that says subscribe. It's a really cool one. Every time you click, something fantastic happens. But just click once. Don't click twice. Click once, 3, 5, 7 times. Always odd numbers, please. Otherwise, you unsubscribe. Ha ha ha. I'm so funny.
Click the bell button as well.
Yeah, to get
Stay
notified. Stay tuned. And I hope you enjoyed the show. So that's it, everybody. See you next time. All right. Nah, we're just kidding. We have a great show for you today. Today, we're going to do things a little differently. We have selected the few topics that are unusual in the BASTERCAST sessions. We are going to list a few items that we love, but we'll get into that a little later. I have a topic. Bruno has a topic. But first, we need to get into the topic of the day. The subject that everybody's talking about, and it's on everybody's minds. And that is, dun dun da, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What a great fucking movie.
It is.
I have nothing more to say. That's the beginning and end of my review. What a great fucking movie. God damn.
And we both have to see it again.
Yeah, we both have to see it again. We watched it individually, so we didn't go together this time. And I missed you there. I had nobody to share my popcorn with. I mean, I tried, but the lady put her hand on the mace. And I thought maybe I should just back off and move to another seat next to someone a little nicer. God damn it. No, I'm kidding. So we didn't watch it together this time, but I think we both came out of the movie theater happy as can be.
What an experience.
What an experience. So first, before we get started, if you watch the movie, feel free to comment below and tell us what you think, and stay tuned for the rest of the comments because we have a lot to say. I'm going to pass this up to Bruno. He's going to start with this because he just watched the movie last night. I watched it a few days ago, so maybe you can refresh my memory. Oh, 2 nights ago, yeah. So maybe you can refresh my memory. Tell me about your experience.
Well, everyone was telling me, you included, to go see the movie. I didn't have the chance yet, but you were completely right. From the beginning till the end, I wasn't expecting that. It's really, really good.
By the way, spoilers. This is going to be... There's definitely going to be spoilers.
Not spoiler free.
This is not spoiler free. So click out now or skip to, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes ahead and work your way back.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But keep trying. Just skip and then go back. Spoiler alert made. There you go.
I don't even have a favorite scene because it's the whole movie, you know, and the cast, both Brad Pitt and
what a chemistry, Leonardo DiCaprio.
What a chemistry,
man.
And we were talking about that scene where they're watching the FBI
TV show
episode, where DiCaprio appears. We are watching the television. We are not even watching them.
We're just watching. We're listening to them. We're listening to what they're saying, but the camera's focused on the television.
And it works.
Oh man, it works so good.
And maybe if it wasn't for both of them, maybe it wouldn't work. I don't know.
Different actors.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh man, it's amazing. And you know, Bruno said something earlier when we were off air, and I completely agree. When you saw that scene, you said it reminded you of us when we watch movies, talking about shit. And sometimes we watch movies with people that we work with, and we comment just as exactly as they did. Like, oh man, that guy was an asshole, but I like that guy. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and that's exactly how it goes. And he captured it so well. I mean, you can't take your eyes off the screen.
No. And the way another thing, the way Tarantino uses Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah,
I think it's more than enough. It's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
if it's, I don't know if it's because of the tragic thing that happened to the actress
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate, yes. But I think she's perfect in the movie.
Yeah,
and she appears
no more, no less.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Because to be honest, that's a good point. When I watched the trailer, I thought that it was too much Hollywood history to cram into a single movie. Mm-hmm. It seemed to me like when I saw that they were telling the story of Polanski and Sharon Tate, I thought, this might be a step bigger than your legs. This is a Portuguese expression that we use when we say that you might be biting off more than you can chew. And it seemed to me that he was kind of risking it, and he always does. He always risks a lot. I mean, but the way he pulled it off is just it just ties in with the whole narrative just brilliantly. It doesn't take your attention away from the main subjects. It's not unbalanced. It's really a great storytelling experience. I was mesmerized, and I rarely walk out of the movie theater feeling the way I did. I was just telling you that it's so good that it's actually a privilege to have had the opportunity to saw it when it opened, to saw this kind of movie when it opened. It's an instant classic for me.
Yeah, and the way it ends, it's
it's
perfect. It's perfect. For me, it's perfect. I was feeling all that rage when I was seeing the movie,
as things were escalating, and you knew because we know the history of Sharon Tate, and you know that's where it's going towards, and then.
If he went with the original story,
the real story,
for me it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it would have left a sour taste, wouldn't it? And it's kind of what brings us back to this point, which is that I felt the same thing with Inglourious Basterds, as in we got the revenge that we never had.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody that knows Sharon Tate's story, and others, listen, what happened to Sharon Tate is not exclusive to Hollywood, and it's not exclusive to that particular family. So it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible ordeal wherever it happens. However, because this is talking about Hollywood, and this story happened at that time, so this is the story they're telling, and it's a gruesome story, and it's you see it coming to its ultimate end, its ultimate conclusion, and the way that he turned it upside down, it just gives you the revenge you never got. I had the same experience watching Inglourious Basterds. When you see what happens in that movie theater, it's like, oh man, if only. If only. Right?
Yeah.
Really good. And you were talking about when the scene when Sharon Tate goes to watch her own movie.
Oh yes, I felt so good watching that, and her joy watching the movie, and to see the reaction of her fans actually. And it's such a joyful moment, to see her in the movie.
Yeah, she was just enjoying it like
a
little girl.
Movie theater, yeah.
It was like a little girl watching a Disney movie. Just I don't know, or even more. I think it's even more than that. She portrayed it really well.
Yeah.
What else? We talked about the Bruce Lee moment.
Yeah, the Bruce Lee moment.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, but it was all inside his head. So
it was all inside his head. But that's why it caught me off guard, because I thought that he was because we know Tarantino likes to change history, right? He likes to tamper with history. So I thought, okay, I don't remember this ever happening on a Hollywood set with Bruce Lee, but maybe I'm wrong. I need to research this later. And then when you realize that it's all in his head. He was just fantasizing because he asked something. He asked something of DiCaprio's character, and DiCaprio's character said, "I'm sorry, you know, it's pointless for me to talk to that guy
because he has his own team."
That's right, he has his own team. So basically, Brad Pitt's character needed a job, and he was trying to get a job on the movie that DiCaprio's character was shooting. And he said, you know, it's useless. This is not going to work. And then we go inside Brad Pitt's character's head, and without knowing it, and then we see how it probably would have panned out if he took the job.
Yeah, and we find that he maybe killed his wife.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
in the way that's shot, that's amazing. Great point.
Yeah,
I mean, they're on the boat. The boat's rocking. She's being a bitch. She's just nagging.
And you see,
and he has the harpoon in his hand just because he was going to do some fishing, and he's just looking at her with a harpoon pointed at her, and you never know what happens. Oh man, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
And the retribution scene is really good. Here's something I know you loved. The moment when DiCaprio is in the pool and the girl falls into the pool screaming, he freaks the fuck out, and he goes and he gets what? He gets the flamethrower. Oh man, that's a great scene, man. That's like the vendetta we never got.
Yeah, and it felt good as well.
It felt really good, and just one thing that it brought to mind was I told you about this game that I played, L.A. Noire.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I'm a huge, probably one of the biggest fans of film noir. It's one of my favorite genres. It's right up there with science fiction and adventure. So yeah, I'm a big fan of film noir, basically. And when I played this game, it was like going into. It was like traveling back in time to Hollywood back then, and it was just a great experience. And one thing the game lets you do is just drive around Los Angeles in the 60s and 50s. You know, it just lets you you can just
like
drive
in
around.
GTA, for example.
Like in GTA, you don't have to do anything. Just drive around. Feel free to explore the city. It's an open world thing. It's really, really cool. And so all those scenes when Brad Pitt's character is driving through Hollywood, I just wanted more and more and more of that.
I couldn't get enough of Brad Pitt driving, you know.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, but it felt really good as well because of the soundtrack, because of his face.
Yeah, because
while driving.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It was really cool. Listen, so long story short, if you haven't seen this piece of art, just go and watch it. You're gonna thank us later. Just do it and let us know what you thought. Comment below. We have our email address as well if you don't want a public comment. Just find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just let us know what you thought, because we really want to know from the people that listen to this podcast what their experience was like, if they had such a thrilling experience as we did. What else can we say about that movie?
So much.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this scene in particular. The scene, Leonardo DiCaprio's character goes into his trailer after forgetting his lines in a shoot, and he just goes berserk, and he actually threatens to kill himself if he forgets another line. And then he goes back on the set, and what a fucking scene that was. Yes. That is it's just a little glimpse of what, how can I put this? It's like a little course in acting. It's because you see and directing as well, because you see there how fruitful the right relationship between an actor and the director can be. So what I mean is, the director didn't yell cut when DiCaprio started improvising. When he threw the kid on the ground, he wasn't supposed to. I don't know if you noticed this. Yeah. He wasn't supposed to throw the kid on the ground, but he did. And nobody yelled cut, just went with it. And it can be so fruitful when the director and the actors have that kind of chemistry. They know they trust your talent. You know everything about that role. Just let it rip. Just let it happen. Enjoy the moment and capture it on tape, on film. So that's a little filmmaking course right there. That whole scene, just the way it was shot, the way it was told, that little bit of story there. I mean, it's just wonderful. And the little girl was really good.
Yeah, the first time I saw the little girl, I was beginning to cringe because I'm not used to good child actors nowadays.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't know. It's so, but no,
Not at all.
Not at all. It was really good.
Yeah, she completely surpassed any expectation that I had.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a good topic for a future BASTERCAST. Good child actors.
Okay. Yeah.
A good topic. Yeah. Oh, and examples of their work. We touched upon this a few times in the past. Go listen to the previous BASTERCASTs. Episodes is in the Audio Tales, which we also have. Feel free to jump into the next playlist that's called Audio Tales. We have 2 episodes there. We're going to relaunch the whole series. We have another 5 in the works. No, 3 in the works.
3 in the works.
5 to another 2 in pre-production. Well, let's call it pre-production. And so it's a really interesting series where we delve into storytelling and sound design and music. So I think you can just, you're really going to enjoy this, especially if you just close your eyes, lend us your mind for a moment.
It's our slogan, exactly.
It's our slogan, and we'll take you places you've never been.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy that too. Anyway, plug made. What else is there to say about this fantastic movie? There's so much to say, but I just can't pinpoint one thing. There's so much.
Well, the soundtrack, for example.
Tell me about the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is
From a film composer's point of view.
Actually, this is the type of soundtrack that is more like Tarantino
Usually does. Yeah.
Usually does. It's more. He uses more songs than
orchestral original scores
or synthwave or so whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Tarantino. It works perfectly.
Yeah.
And but I think he used so many songs.
Thongs. Yeah, I noticed that. There's actually a shot in the movie where you catch a glimpse of the crew. It's in the mirror. It's a reflection. And if you can avoid that mirror, just do it. It's going to haunt you. Because Tarantino, he dresses really uncanny for shoots, man. I had no friggin' idea. But those thongs, Jesus.
No, but he uses a lot of songs in this film. I don't know if he uses more in this one than in any other one.
Any other movie? Yeah, probably not.
Because while Brad Pitt is driving, I think there are some scenes where we can listen to 3 songs, for example. Just
in a single scene. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know if it's. I'm curious to see the album.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I actually was thinking of going back and exploring into my old records to see how many songs of that movie I already have in an album or something. In various albums, I mean.
I have very few of them.
I remember at least 4 or 5 maybe. But yeah, that album is a must-have, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's a must-have. Let alone, if only for inspiration purposes, I think it's going to be great. So yeah, again, go watch the movie and let us know what you think. It has the Creative Bastard stamp of approval, double stamped. I mean, it's a really, really good movie, and thank you, Mr. Tarantino, for providing us with such another piece of masterful filmmaking and storytelling. By the way, there are rumors that he is going to make his 10th and final movie. This is just a rumor, something that I heard.
I really hope not, but
I really hope not. It does feel like he's coming into his prime. Everybody loves his movies. I think I guess there are people who hate them, but anyway, I think we can argue, we have a strong case supporting how good he is at storytelling throughout his career. So that's, I think, is one of the stamps of his career, and creating characters, interesting, rich, profound characters. But right now, I feel like he's taken all of his experience over these past few decades, and he just chiseled them to a point where he's in his prime. I think this is him in his prime. This, to me, is right up there with Inglourious Basterds, and it would be a shame if the next one is going to be the last movie. But hey, it's show business. There's a slogan in show business that is always leave the audience wanting more. So I'm sure that if the next one is his last, that's what's going to happen. The audience is going to want more. But I hope not. What do you think?
I don't know. I hope not. He actually has done other things. You do know that he directed or wrote a CSI episode?
Oh, yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Really? I didn't watch that
Yeah,
episode.
I usually didn't see CSI, but that I didn't miss, and it was really good.
So what was the plot, and how was it different from other CSI episodes?
I don't remember everything, but I do know that someone was buried alive, and they had some time to save the person.
Okay, so he had a limited amount of time.
And they had a camera inside the coffin or something, or the box. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't remember, but it was. What I do remember is loving that episode. Yeah, and CSI is
it's
really not my thing.
It's not my bag, baby.
Yeah.
Not at all. I wanted to tell you this, that when I heard that he wanted to do one last movie, I went on IMDb and see what's announced, if there's anything announced. And you know what is announced?
No.
In his director credits as his next film.
Okay, as a director?
As a director, yes.
What?
Untitled Star Trek project.
But that's confirmed?
Well, it says on IMDb, as I'm looking at it right now, it just says Untitled Star Trek project. But it doesn't say rumored.
It doesn't say rumored.
But this is the app. I don't know if in the app it says rumored or not. I think so.
Okay.
But
because people were talking about that some months ago. Yeah. But I thought that the theme died. But no, if it's on IMDb.
Well, it hasn't died yet.
Yeah. So
what would you expect out of a Star Trek Tarantino?
Actually, after seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I don't know what to expect. Because if it was before this, I was expecting just great storytelling, great direction.
No shy violence.
No shy violence. Yeah, and that a great amount of violence. I would be curious, and I'm curious to see what will happen with the soundtrack of that movie. If he's going with songs and stuff like that. But hey, the way Star Trek is nowadays, I don't know. I think maybe he's really the answer.
Maybe he is the answer, because you remember that Beastie Boys moment in the last Star Trek?
For fuck's sake, not again.
Yeah, that was, please don't ever do that again. I like Beastie Boys. That's actually my favorite Beastie Boys song.
But in what movie?
Star Trek.
Yeah, but in which one? Because in the third one, I think they used the same theme again. Beastie Boys.
What?
Yeah, in the third.
In the last Star Trek. That's what I'm saying. That's where they used.
But they
Beastie
used
Boys.
that theme again in the first one.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
In the first J.J. Abrams.
I think so. In the beginning. No.
I don't think so.
While the kid is driving.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, okay, maybe.
So again,
all right. So I forgot about that. Maybe there's a thread there that connects, that makes the Beastie Boys Sabotage relevant to the new Star Trek universe, I guess.
Yeah, but
still,
this is the Kelvin
Jesus
universe.
fucking Christ, that was such a bad scene. Yeah. So please, Tarantino, if you do a Star Trek, I can only expect it to reach again levels of cult that it hasn't had for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that we'll leave it at that for the Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And look it up.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Did I say Mexico?
Yeah.
There is a movie, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. It's a Robert Rodriguez movie, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, the movie is not good, but that movie's not good. Damn, it just broke Desperado completely. It just shattered
it's a sequel.
You remember the Mexican or Mexicant? Johnny Depp?
I really liked the first one, but the second one was terrible.
Yeah. Desperado was really good. But you know, actually, it's a trilogy. It's El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh, so I didn't like the second one, maybe.
Right, Desperado is the second one.
Yeah.
But
El Mariachi
is Robert Rodriguez, I think. It was directed by Robert. Wait a minute, let me just look it up, because I'm pretty sure. But I don't want to be. El Mariachi. Just give me a second. 1992. Okay, here we go. 1992. The 90s. All right. El Mariachi is Robert Rodriguez. There you go. So Desperado is picking up where we left off. Desperado is a great movie, but Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Yeah, crickets. Okay. Let's jump off to the second topic. And who starts today? Today, you start.
I started with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, we stared with Once Upon a Time.
so-
Let's just do it. Yeah, it was a joint project. It was a collaborative project. You know, just like the fireplace when we built it together.
Okay.
Okay, my therapist is going to have a field day with this. All right, let's jump into the second topic. The first of our topics. And ding, ding, ding.
So, best music biopics, real or otherwise? What I mean is, yes, music biopics, but they don't have to be completely.
They don't have to be based
accurate.
on real
Yeah.
events and historic events. Okay, kick it off.
Okay, so the first one, and I don't think many people will agree with me, but this is one of my favorites. It's Immortal Beloved. Well, that title makes me cringe, but
Immortal Beloved. I have never heard of this.
the movie is directed
Directed by
Bernard Rose.
Herrmann.
Yeah,
Bernard who?
Rose. Bernard
Jeez,
Herrmann.
I keep saying Herman. Sorry. Bernard Rose.
No, it's with Gary Oldman. It's about Beethoven.
Oh right. I don't
You
know
did-
about this movie.
Well, I have it on DVD if you want it.
Please,
Yeah.
yes.
It's okay. It's not really about the music of Beethoven.
It's about the life of Beethoven.
It's more about and again spoilers. Sorry, more about the love life of Beethoven.
All right.
After he dies in the beginning of the movie.
Huh.
So it begins well.
So I don't need that DVD anymore.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
But then they because of some. I do not remember, but there's a guy who has to know who is the immortal beloved that Beethoven wrote about. Okay. So we go back in time. It's with Isabella Rossellini, for example.
Oh, really?
And
I
it's
like
a really
her.
good movie. And the music scenes are incredible. And Gary Oldman is incredible in that movie.
All right.
So it's one of my favorites. Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested again.
It's an amazing performance by
I'm
Gary
interested
Oldman.
again.
Yeah, you should be because I'm telling you to.
Right. Yeah. And I always do what I'm told.
So you?
All right. I think we agree on this one, but let me just see. I have a list here. Let me just go through my list.
I have a list as well, but
Hey,
I'm
actually,
faster than you.
You know what? I'm going to pick up where, I'm going to pick up your, I see your Beethoven. I see your Immortal Beloved, and I raise you an Amadeus.
An Amadeus. Yes,
All right.
yes. From Milos
1984.
Milos
So-
Forman.
Milos Forman.
Milos
yes.
Forman.
So it's if you don't know what this is the it's on the title. It's in the title, people. It's about Amadeus Mozart, and a lot of people know what we're talking about here. But here's a little synopsis that is on IMDb.
Yeah.
And IMDb tells us that this movie, the synopsis for the movie on IMDb is the life, success, and troubles of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, as told by Antonio Salieri, the contemporaneous composer who was insanely jealous of Mozart.
It was his rival at the time.
Yeah, it was his rival at the time. Here's something curious that I found out about this movie. It's not necessarily historically accurate. There's a lot of artistic freedom, especially when it comes to Beethoven's personality.
Mozart.
What did I say? Beethoven. I meant Mozart, yes.
Yeah.
It's really late. He made me do this at 4 a.m. I haven't slept in 2 days. I've been locked in a basement. I don't know what I'm saying. So they took a few artistic liberties with Beethoven's character and personality.
Mozart.
What did I say?
Beethoven again.
I'm having a deja vu.
I'm going to edit this.
No, you're
Don't
not.
worry.
Please don't. This
No,
is fun.
okay.
I'm having a deja vu. I like deja vu. So they took a few artistic freedoms with Mozart's character and personality, and I forgot what it was. No, I'm not. And but they took it from his true life events, so accurate, historically accurate life events. still, there are fascinating things that you would think the creators of this story, of this movie, made up, such as writing symphonies at 12 years old and stuff like that, and that is true.
Yeah, that is true.
It does portray an amazing relationship, not only between Mozart and Salieri, who were supposedly rivals, but also with the relationship between these men and music. Is really interesting. The musical pieces are fantastic, obviously. They're portrayed fantastically. The operas are amazing. And by the time you get to the end of the movie and you see Mozart in his bed composing his Requiem as Salieri is sitting Salieri is sitting at the foot of the bed and just writing it down.
He's actually reading, and we are listening to the music.
Yeah, but I think he was writing it down.
He's writing,
he's listening to Mozart, and he's writing the music down, and we were listening to it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a brutally beautiful scene. So, yeah, Amadeus is one of those classics that I watched it so many years ago. I was a kid the last time I watched this movie, and I still remember it vividly. You know, another scene that I remember vividly is Mozart under the table with a girl, laughing, and hiding and laughing. I mean, it is just a fantastic portrayal of one of history's main composers, and so Amadeus is a great movie for you guys as well. Next one,
The Doors from 1991.
Right, and this is where we overlap. Yeah, I had that one too. So tell me about that.
That's one of my favorite movies. Actually, when the movie came out, no, I was too young. But some years later, I was so obsessed with that movie and with The Doors that I was listening that on the beach, on my way to school, whatever. You know, I really love that movie. And the performance of Val Kilmer, it's
mesmerizing.
I don't know if it's really accurate, but it helps for me.
Well, it helps when the movie comes out as people that actually knew him well are still alive, which doesn't happen with Amadeus and my beloved, immortal beloved. Yeah. But apparently it is pretty accurate. And Val Kilmer, I can't remember if he won an Oscar for that, but I remember that he was praised a lot for his portrayal, and I love the movie. And one thing I love about that movie is that this is my experience, it lets you get inside the mind. You feel like you're inside the mind of Jim Morrison, and you see the world through his eyes. Even though it's shot in a third person, it's not a first person perspective, but you feel like it is. And it's you're there for the crazy moments, you're there for the highs and the lows, and the drunken stupors. You're there.
There's a lot of the Lizard King in that movie. Yes, and I love more the music than the poetry, but yes.
I actually have his book, things that he wrote when he was homeless, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I have a book.
Didn't know that.
Well, it's not his book, actually. It's a biography that includes copies of his actual writings. So it's in his it's not the actual pieces of paper, obviously, but it was copied from those pieces of paper, and it's really cool to see his handwriting and the proto poems. Well, the poems that were actually the proto lyrics for his future songs. And IMDb says, this is the story of the famous and influential 1960s rock band The Doors and its lead singer and composer Jim Morrison. From his days as a UCLA film student in Los Angeles to his untimely death in Paris, France at the age of 27 in 1971. And he is one of those infamous characters that belongs to the 27 group, such as Jimi Hendrix and Mercedes-Benz. Oh Lord, Janis Joplin.
Yes, Janis
Joplin.
Yes. And not only.
I know there are others, but there are others that I refuse to include in that list. So I'll just stick with these three for now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it.
So, you.
Oh, my turn. Okay. Let me go back to my little thingy. And this is not my thingy. I want to go back here. Yeah. All right. I think you said The Doors, and I'm going to pick up where you left off, and I'm going to say, I see your doors, and I raise you an Almost Famous.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we overlap with these two.
Yeah,
you chose these two as well, I'm sure.
I did.
So, Almost Famous, yeah. It's a not so lightly veiled. Go fuck yourself. So, if for those who don't know, and a lot of people don't know this, this is actually autobiographical.
But from the photographer, from the journalist point of view,
The journalist's
right?
point of view, yeah. So the person who was the person that it's portraying is actually the director, Cameron Crowe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
He
didn't know
wrote
that.
for
I didn't know
Rolling
that.
Stone, and this is based on his experiences with a band that I can't remember if it's actually Stillwater, the band that's portrayed in the movie, or another band. I don't think so. I think it's a more famous band, but I cannot be sure. However, this is a really good movie.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of like, in a weird way, we were discussing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at the beginning of the show. If you haven't listened to that, go ahead, go back. Unless you don't want spoilers, then just stick with us right now. But similarly to that movie, here's a movie that brings me back to that time, even though I didn't live there.
Yeah.
It brings me back to that time via the soundtrack.
Yes.
And there's this iconic scene that I absolutely fucking love when the band is on the bus and they're singing Elton John's Tiny Dancer.
In the bus, yes.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
just they're just digging and grooving that song, and it's really, really wonderful.
Okay.
And it's like they love music, and that's what we get from these movies, right?
Yes.
The people's relationship with music.
Yeah.
And also, one thing that it does, it shows you actually, how far people are willing to go to get ensconced in music, to get, taken away with music. They just want to ride that wave, and sometimes it leads to untimely deaths, like
Yes.
Jim Morrison's death. But anyway, for those who don't know Almost Famous, on IMDb, the current synopsis says the following. A high school boy is given the chance to write a story for Rolling Stone magazine about an up-and-coming rock band as he accompanies them on their concert tour. The characters are really rich, the dilemmas are very poignant, and it feels so true and genuine. Great job, Mr. Cameron Crowe.
So this one, I don't know if you saw it. It's Behind the Candelabra.
I didn't watch it, but I know what the one you mean.
Yeah,
With Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
and
about
Matt
Liberace.
Damon.
About Liberace.
Liberace, yeah.
And it's more about their relationship between Liberace and Scott Thompson, I think. I don't remember.
Mhm.
And both of them act really, really, really good. Especially Michael Douglas. It's perfect as Liberace for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's.
He was really praised for his role,
Yeah.
because I never watched it.
And I wasn't expecting that. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know much about Liberace, but I went to see some of his performances. For me, it's perfect. Michael Douglas. Who knew?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect. I mean, Michael Douglas is a great actor,
Yeah,
but
it
I
is.
have so many iconic films in mind where he was the main actor, was the main character.
And
There's no comparison.
No
really.
comparison. Yes.
Because the things that come to mind is films that come to mind are like the Perfect Murder, and
and some adventure movies,
my
and action movies.
favorite Michael Douglas movie. I don't think I'm forgetting any when I say this. I'm probably not. The Game.
The Game. Yeah. Okay,
David Fincher's The Game.
Yeah.
So that
Sean
is
Penn as
with
well.
Sean Penn as
Yeah.
well. That is
I
my
have to see that again.
such a great movie.
Yeah,
Every
it
time
is.
I watch
It
it,
is.
I watched it so many times, and it's such a great, powerful movie. But Michael Douglas around that time was portraying a lot of a wealthy businessman with a dark side to them. So that's my idea of Michael Douglas. And when I saw that he was going to do Liberace, so I was like, how is this going to fit? But he's an amazing actor. So what can you tell me about that movie? So what makes it special? I know the acting is really good, but what makes it special?
I don't know, the emotion of the characters, the sensitivity of both of them. It's a really sad story. If you get into it,
Mhm.
it's a really, really sad story.
Way
Liberace.
to bomb the mood, dude.
Yeah, well, sorry about that. Thank you. But you see how, well, in the movie, you see how Liberace could be a really, peacock kind of person, you know, and how he almost destroyed the other guy's life, you know, because he was really possessive, you know, and he was controlling and molding Matt Damon's character, you know,
Scott Adams.
Scott Thompson. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. He was really. Sometimes he was really not a good person, but you, in the end, they make up, and when Liberace is dying, and he died of AIDS.
You know, that reminds me a little bit of Philadelphia.
And he hides. He hid it for a long time.
He hid it for a long time.
He hid it. Yes.
You know, that reminded me of Philadelphia a little bit. With
Also,
Tom Hanks and Antonio Banderas, the way that they make up. I think they were always friends there, but the way that you talked about the characters, the way that they gave, how much they bring to the role.
Was Antonio Banderas his boyfriend?
Yeah, he was the boyfriend.
I don't remember they being apart.
No, they weren't apart. I'm just saying the way the way you're describing that scene, and because I'm looking at you and I see that it's a very emotional scene.
Okay.
It reminded me of the same scene at the hospital when Antonio Banderas goes and visits.
It's almost the same thing. But when Scott goes to visit Liberace, they have a hiatus between them. Years of hiatus, I think. And then he goes there to visit Liberace in his deathbed.
I gotta watch this.
No, it's really good.
I gotta watch this.
Well, I think it's really good.
I think I kind of hesitated. I don't know why. I mean, the trailer is really good, and
it's not a perfect movie.
No. I mean, I don't think there's such a thing, but we're gonna keep on looking, right? Yeah. But anyway, the trailer for Liberace Behind the Candelabra is really good. So there is really no reason.
The title is amazing.
There's really no reason for me to not have watched it. I think it was just my personal hesitation because I love Michael Douglas and I couldn't see him in that role. And for some reason, it just, I didn't remember it when I was thinking about movies to watch. But I'm going to watch it. It sounds amazing. My next one, I just want to say, I wanted to say something about.
Do you really have to?
I don't have to, but I see the annoyance on your face, and I want to see how far it goes. But I remembered something about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that I forgot to mention, and it had to do with this. Oh, the trailer, right? If you watched the trailer for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
yes,
I did not like that trailer.
Me neither.
It does not. Okay, so a lot of trailers don't reflect the actual experience of watching the movie it's supposed to represent, but I didn't get the vibe of the movie. Not at all.
And I'm glad for it.
In a way, I'm glad. Yeah. So anyway, okay, this one, I just spoke to a dear friend of mine who's always going to the movies with me, and he's one of the most cultured people when it comes to music and film.
We're talking about David. David, are you there?
No,
not David.
No, not David. David is also one of those guys, but I'm talking about Karas.
Karas.
Okay, so, but he didn't know about this movie, which actually surprised me, and it's called The Legend of 1900.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's an amazing movie, right? It's just. It has such artistic sensibility.
Did you see it?
I did watch it. I caught it on television many years ago. I think it was at least 15 years ago. Yeah. And I caught it, and I didn't watch it from the beginning, but I'm pretty sure I was close to watching it from the beginning. It was probably, 10 minutes, 15 minutes into it. And it's with Tim Roth, directed by Giuseppe Tornatore.
Tornatore.
Oh, Jeffrey comes. You have so many people lined up here. Private joke. Actually, sir, it's not private because it's something you've been mentioning for the past 3 BASTERCASts. So it's not private at all. That's actually the very opposite of private. Thank you again for your insight. God damn it. Why don't you stay behind the glass? Did we mute this microphone?
I closed the door, but yeah.
No, I told you to mute the microphone. Anyway, thank you, Englishman out of nowhere. So it's director Giuseppe Tornatore and starring Tim Roth and a bunch of other people that you're gonna know. No, honestly, it's just so many known actors that it's pointless for me to just go through the cast. But here's a good synopsis from IMDb again. A baby boy discovered in 1900 on an ocean liner grows into a musical prodigy, never setting foot on land. This is a fictional character. As far as I know, this is not historically accurate. There is no basis. Okay. It's not based on true events. As far as I know, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me know.
So it's called
The Legend of 1900.
Okay.
Starring Tim Roth. Okay. And it's just such a wonderful movie. Just as the synopsis says, there's a baby that is found in an ocean liner. Basically, it's kind of a Titanic type ship. And nobody knows who the baby belongs to, and so they decide to raise him on the ship. Okay. And so the baby only knows the ship, and it's going back and forth. Listen, I watched this 15 years ago, so my memory is kind of shady on it. But I think it was going back and forth between London and New York. Mm-hmm. So the baby just keeps cruising the Atlantic, and as he grows older, in the festival hall where the party hall, I don't know what you call it, the place where they have parties on the ship. He just falls in love with the music, and he teaches himself to play the piano, and he becomes a musical prodigy, and it's just an amazing movie. And Tim Roth is just terrific. He's like borderline insanely good in this role. Yeah. And because the boy was born and raised in such a peculiar environment, he's very socially awkward. He doesn't know how to interact with human beings that well. And the way he finds music as a way to express himself is, I mean, just watch the movie. It's really good.
I have to watch it.
And the soundtrack is amazing. And you know what? It was this movie that first got me to think about the magic moment that it was for the world of music when you were able to first record music. Right. So this is something that I have in mind. This movie made me think of this. How wonderful and magical must it have been to go to a concert before we had the ability to record music. It's a once in a lifetime thing. You are never gonna hear that those compositions again played the same way. It's never going to happen again.
You have that in Amadeus and in Beethoven, for example.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Of course, that's what I mean. All we have now are reproductions, right? Yeah. We don't have actual
and not actual reproduction from them.
There's none. There's none. But this is what I mean. I mean, this movie got me to think of that, and there's a reason I'm saying this, because there's a particular point in the movie where they show him how they were able to record his music, the main character's music, and he's just flabbergasted. And it's an amazing thing to watch. And go watch this movie. There's a lot of good movies here to watch, but we guarantee you that you're gonna thank us for this. Okay. So next one,
I don't know if you know it. It's 24-Hour Party People by Michael Winterbottom.
I know of it. I've never watched it.
It's about the Manchester music scene between the 70s and the 90s.
All right.
With Steve Coogan.
Coogan, I love Steve Coogan.
Yeah, and it's more or less. I think I don't remember. I know that I really like the movie, but I think it involves the Sex Pistols.
Wait a minute, is Steve Coogan, Sex Pistols? Isn't this with Gary Oldman as well?
I don't remember if Gary Oldman was there. I saw this movie a lot of years ago. I don't know, but the way they portray all of the things that were happening and all the music scene, it's terrific. It makes you want to be there and want to live there. That's all of that scene. Are you searching for the IMDb synopsis?
No, I'm actually seeing it.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, I can tell you the synopsis.
But yes, it's this. I hope you see the movie, all of you guys, because this is a really good movie which portrays really well that part of music history. You know, I really loved it.
Well, the synopsis, as you so kindly asked for it,
is
in 1996, Tony Wilson sets up Factory Records and brings Manchester's music to the world. And yes, it involves the Sex Pistols. You were absolutely right.
Okay, yeah.
I was just searching for that other. I think they were. I'm
If Gary Oldman is there.
Oldman. No, Gary Oldman is not in this movie.
Okay.
I was mistaking it for another movie. I actually thought 24 Hour Party People was an older movie, but it's actually from 2002. Okay, but apart from the Manchester music scene in '76, what makes it special? How's the directing and the acting?
No, for me it's perfect because it portrays, I think, the way it was back then, and some anecdotes and episodes that most people didn't know, and they show it in the movie.
Really?
Yeah. The way they record some stuff and stuff like that. It's well, for me, being a musician and an audio engineering, it's kind of special for me, you know.
Yeah.
But I think for most people that like music history and anecdotes and stuff like that, it's the type of movie that people will like.
Yeah,
will love actually.
Yeah, again, it's about the relationship with music.
With music, yes, yes.
I mean, that's wonderful. And I actually know what I was thinking about another movie that involves the Sex Pistols, and it's called Sid and Nancy.
I never saw that.
Yeah, it's it was made in 1986. It came out in 1986, and it talks about the relationship between Sid Vicious and his girlfriend at the time, Nancy Spungen. So Sid Vicious being the lead singer of the Sex Pistols. So yeah, I was mistaking it for this movie. I'm going to watch 24 Hour Party People. Actually, we need to exchange these lists because there are some movies that you're talking about I haven't watched and I want to.
So are you?
Yeah, my next one. I'll jump from your Sex Pistols and I'll go to, I'm sure if you didn't jot this one down in your list, you're going to kick yourself in the head. Whiplash.
Fuck, I didn't.
Aha!
I didn't.
Yeah, one up on you. No, I'm kidding because you already told me something that I didn't have one. But Whiplash, 2014, great goddamn movie. I did not expect this. Again, the trailer was not good. The trailer showed me the movie that it looked like a teen drama involving some kind of kid just going to music school, but it felt like it wasn't going in that deep into what it is to actually dedicate yourself to creating music, dedicate your life to music. But I was completely wrong, and I'm so glad I was. It's all about a musician's dedication to music and how far are you willing to take it
while learning.
While learning. So IMDb says a promising young drummer enrolls at a cutthroat music conservatory where his dreams of greatness are mentored by an instructor who will stop at nothing to realize his student's potential. So it's not just about the student's relationship with his teacher. It's about both their individual relationships with music and how that affects their quote-unquote real life.
Yeah, for me, again, that's the more.
So we both watched this, right?
Yeah, I love that movie. Yes.
Did you expect that final scene?
No.
Man.
No, I wasn't. Actually, I wasn't expecting anything from a certain point of the movie onwards. Mm-hmm. You know, I wasn't.
Yeah.
He again, spoilers. Him being expelled from the school and everything that onwards, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go a different route. I thought it was going to go all mushy, cuddly.
Exactly.
You know, he's going to get back to his old girlfriend,
and then
everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And then maybe later on in his life, he's going to look back at his teen years and think, what might have happened? But no, it was
it's real life.
Not like that. It's so grounded. Yeah. And here's the point. Here's a good point that we've made before in the BASTERCAST sessions. Again, if you haven't listened to the other ones, go back because we go in depth into what I'm going to say right now, which is humans are erratic. They make choices that are not comfortable for the story you're trying to tell. That's how humans work.
Yeah.
You make choices that in the end are going to harm you, are going to harm everybody around you, including the story you're trying to tell. So it's not supposed to be neat. It's not supposed to be clean. It's supposed to be a constant battle with you trying to do the best for yourself, or you trying to find the best way out of something and failing again and again and again. So that's how humans work, and this movie shows that really well. And it's so frustrating that not enough writers or directors or films put this into the screen. I mean, it's so overwhelmingly satisfying to watch when a movie is true, when a story is true to its characters, and this movie does that. All right, next one.
Let me see. Love and Mercy. Did you hear about this one?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't hear. I'm hard of hearing.
Fucktard.
I have to read your lips. Don't put your mouth so close to the.
It's with Paul Dano and John Cusack. They both do the same character, and that character is Brian Wilson from the Pet Shop.
Oh,
from the Pet Shop Boys now, from the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys, yeah.
Yeah. And it's Paul Dano as a younger version and John Cusack as an older version, obviously.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, it could be.
Yeah.
But
Benjamin Button / the Beach Boys.
But I don't know if everything there is completely accurate again, but it's
probably not. But listen, you can only be accurate for so long.
It's a great performance from both of them, and it's a really good piece of music history. If you like the Beach Boys, or even if you don't like the Beach Boys,
there's a good story behind the people.
There's
that
a
made
good
the
story,
Beach Boys.
and there's a great story behind Brian Wilson as well. So it's really interesting.
I had no idea John Cusack had done this.
No,
I can see Paul Dano doing something like this. I didn't expect.
You do know that Brian Wilson had a huge depression, and it was.
No, I didn't.
Okay, it was. There was this guy. I don't remember the name. There was a guy that was taking advantage from Brian Wilson, and he took him in the wrong path. But again, that guy is Brian Wilson. Great producer, great musician. Yeah. It's amazing, and great piece of music history again.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I don't know if this is fan lore, what I'm about to say, but I think everybody who's watched High Fidelity knows. I'm not gonna talk about that one though. That's a great movie to talk about in terms of music.
Yeah, but it's not
exactly the same thing. No. But I just I love that
John
movie.
Cusack,
yeah, John Cusack. That's what I mean.
Jack Black.
Black as well. Yeah, and I love that movie so much that I kind of got it in my head that John Cusack just loves music. You know. So, but I never expected him to do a biopic. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I love the actor. I really liked it.
This movie is from 2014.
Oh, it's recent.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would have been an older movie.
That was Paul Dano. It couldn't be.
Yeah, but Paul Dano. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be a kid.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be a kid. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna check that out.
Right.
But anyway,
it's not my favorite movie, but it's a good way to enter the Pet Shop. Again, Pet Shop Boys now. The Beach Boys world. Yes. If you don't know it.
So what's it called again?
Love and Mercy.
Love and Mercy. Okay, everybody out there, let us know what you thought about Love and Mercy. One last thing about High Fidelity, though. For people who love music, that's a great movie as well. And one of my favorite references to music in that movie is when one of his co-workers, because John Cusack's character has a music store and he has two people working there. One of them is not even supposed to work there, who is Jack Black, but he just does not go away. And the other guy I forget the name of the actor, but he did a really good job. And that other guy, when he goes into John Cusack's apartment, he realizes that John Cusack is just rearranging his musical library. All his albums are out, vinyls, CDs, everything is out, and he's just rearranging everything. And he goes around and he tries to understand John Cusack's character's logic behind his organization. He's like, this is not alphabetical. This is not chronological. What is this?
Yeah.
Pause. And the answer, autobiographical. So rearranging music in accordance to your own personal autobiography. God damn.
Yes.
Is that's a work of art for anybody, it's a personal thing, but I believe that's the same amount of dedication that goes into a work of art. Anyway, jumping on to the next one. I see your Love and Mercy, and I raise you at Taking Woodstock.
What the fuck?
Taking Woodstock.
I don't know that movie.
All right, so this is kind of a fictional biopic of Woodstock.
Of the festival
of the
itself?
The music festival, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it's grounded on true events. I'm also sure that there was a lot of artistic liberties there regarding the characters that actually lent the land for the festival and that made it happen, basically.
So it's
Taking Woodstock.
Woodstock.
It was released in 2009, hit theaters in 2009. Here's a synopsis. IMDb tells us that the synopsis is: a man working at his parents' motel in the Catskills inadvertently sets in motion the generation-defining concert in the summer of 1969. Inadvertently. Wow. That's the cool part. It also has one of the comedians that I really love. It's not like my favorite comedian because this is not actually the type of stand-up comedy that I usually gravitate towards. But in this specific style, this guy is the absolute best. It's called Dimitri Martin. Okay. And he's one of those one-liners. He just says one line and then punchline. One line, punchline. And he's really, really good and he's really dry. So to cast this guy, Dimitri Martin, in a dramatic role that has, it's supposed to have like comedy between the lines. It's a really good choice.
Okay.
Thinking outside the box. So kudos to the casting director for this one. And the director is Ang Lee.
Ang Lee?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's such a wonderful...
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
it's not the kind of movie.
Oh, by the way, also stars Paul Dano.
Okay. I'm beginning to see a pattern there.
But it's all about the love of music. Yeah. And it's this weird relationship with history as well. As in, if you're in the position of making history, would you do it? You'd be afraid. And would you be able to overcome that fear? Because it's untreaded water. It's unsailed waters. Yeah. It's like virgin territory. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. So it's a movie about that kind of facing the unknown and what are you going to do? And especially when you did it by accident. But also the characters are so rich. And I at least felt that it brought me right into that Woodstock feeling. It brought me into those camps, into the mud, listening to that music. With all the precariousness, because it was raining. This equipment was all out.
Mud,
lots of mud.
Naked
this equipment
people,
was all out in the open. People were getting electrocuted, but it was for the love of the music. They just wanted to hear good music and good rock and roll. So it's really a fascinating movie that takes you to the backstage of Woodstock. So Taking Woodstock, 2009, great acting. And by the way, I'm not going to tell you the whole cast list because it's really surprising. It's very surprising.
Can you just throw a name or two?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Fuck that.
No, here's a good name. You're not going to know who I'm talking about probably, but she's almost unrecognizable and she's doing a really good. She was perfect. Imelda Staunton. No, I know you don't know this name, but you're going to know who she is when you see her. And okay, here's a hint. Sabretooth. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that.
X-Men?
I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay.
All right, so Sabretooth.
Okay.
And watch the movie and let me know what you thought. It's to be honest, it's a thrill ride. The characters are so good and the story is told with such artistic sensibility, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, so we talked about a lot of movies involving music. Do you have any more in your list?
I have lots more, but maybe let me see.
Okay, last one. You want to do a last one?
Yeah, last one.
Okay, one last one for each of us because I want to talk about something else as well.
Yeah. Okay, so apart from Bohemian Rhapsody and the new Elton John movie, Rocketman. Apart from all of that, let me just go.
Yeah, let's do honorable mentions and the last one. Okay.
You should see. Well, let me just say another two really quick. Crazy, Sexy, Cool, the TLC story. I know TLC, a girl band from the 90s.
Who are you and what did you do with my friend?
I know.
No, I'm kidding. I don't want to hate on TLC.
This is not my favorite movie at all, but I love the 90s pop music.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
So just watching that, it made me feel at home, you know? It could be TLC, it could be, I don't know, Backstreet Boys, anything from pop music, and I would really just like glued to the
guilty pleasures.
Yeah, guilty pleasures. And La Bamba.
Oh yeah, La Bamba.
From 1987 with Lou Diamond Phillips.
I know.
Fuck. I saw that movie while I was a kid, and then it sticked.
It's stuck.
It's stuck.
You know what I remember from that movie?
What?
The amount of takes they did recording a song.
Yeah.
You remember that scene?
Yeah.
Where the producer just keeps saying, "It's not right. You have to do it again," and the guy is just doing it over and over and over and over again, and it has to come out perfect every single time.
Yes. So there's a lot of other movies, but we don't have.
You want to rapid fire? Just the titles?
Okay. Ray Charles,
of course,
with Jamie Foxx. Coal Miner's Daughter.
I don't know that one.
Spacek and Tommy Lee.
But about who?
About Loretta Lynn.
All right.
I think it was a country queen. I saw this movie while I was a kid. I do remember my father really liking that movie and telling me stuff about the movie. And Sissy Spacek was terrific, as well as Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm-hmm.
8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah. Walk the Line.
Walk the Line. Never watched it.
Never?
Never.
It's really good. And Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire is a great movie.
With Dennis Quaid. Amazing movie.
Man, he was really well cast.
Yeah, it was. And this movie, I found out that lots of people didn't like it, but it's Bird. It's by Clint Eastwood about Charlie Parker.
All right.
It's with Forrest Whitaker.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
That's interesting.
I saw this a while ago. Yeah.
Quite a while ago. Okay.
Quite a while ago. And that's it.
All right.
There are other ones, but yeah.
Man, you got to give me that list.
Yeah, okay.
People probably realize this by now, but we love not just films. We just love films, music, literature. We have a lot of passion. So this is a treat for us to be doing this show. I'm going to rapid fire just a couple.
Okay.
And there are actually 2 of them that I haven't watched, but I know they're good.
Okay.
I just know they're really, really good. I haven't watched them, and they're on my list, and I haven't gotten around to do it. So let me do some honorable mentions first. What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah. With Lawrence Fishburne.
And Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Great movie
Tina
Tina Turner.
Amazing.
And it's just amazing. I'm not the greatest Tina Turner fan.
I am.
When it comes to music. I like her music. I'm a fan to a certain point. I'm not just. I wouldn't listen to a whole record, for example, from beginning to end. I'm not that kind of fan. However, I do.
You.
I know. You pity if that was the only reason. Come on. We had this conversation yesterday. Are you really going to get into this right now? God damn it. But her story is really good, and I have to admire the artist. So I admire the artist. I'm a fan of her music, not the biggest fan, but a fan. And What's Love Got to Do with It is, if anything else doesn't do it for you, if nothing else does it for you, then just watch a movie based on the acting is so good, and the story is really well told.
Just let me say one thing. I just hope that movie had more music. It's really, really focused on the shitty part. Of her life, but that's what sells. But
but it's a tremendous story, and she does a really good job at showing her innocence in the beginning of her career, and how cynical she became at the end, and finding her love for music back.
Exactly.
Back at when she thought she didn't have any left. Really good. And so the next two are the ones that I haven't watched yet. Really good movies. I'm sure I'll put my money down for these movies if I have to. One is 1984's This Is Spinal Tap.
Never saw it.
Never saw it. It's a
I've heard about
mockumentary about a
Spinal Tap?
about a band called This Is Spinal Tap. Actually, Spinal Tap. I'm pretty sure this is a non-existent band. I was going to research this just before I came into the studio. I didn't have time to research this. Maybe I could look it up. But if anybody else out there knows, just let me know. Basically, the synopsis says, Spinal Tap, one of England's loudest bands, is chronicled by film director Martin de Burgh on what proves to be a fateful tour. So Martin de Burgh. This is not Martin de Burgh. The actor playing Martin de Burgh is Rob Reiner. So from that, I believe that this is a mockumentary, not a documentary.
Okay.
So anyway, it's such a classic cult film that I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy it. And the other one is one of my favorite all-time actors, Jeff Bridges, did this wonderful movie that I haven't watched yet just because it skipped my mind, Crazy Heart.
Okay.
He actually won an Oscar for this. So it's
about a country.
Exactly. A faded country musician is forced to reassess his dysfunctional life during a doomed romance that also inspires him.
Okay.
I love Jeff Bridges. I love that guy. He's one of my favorite actors, all-time favorite actors, and he's done some of the greatest movies I've ever watched in my life. So the reason that I haven't watched this one yet is just there's not enough time to watch.
There's another one, La Vie en Rose.
La Vie en Rose, yeah.
La Vie en Rose with Mario Cotillard.
Yeah, about Edith Piaf.
Oui.
Very good.
Yeah,
Your
very
French
good.
is very good. It's better than my English.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was just pissing by to see how things were going. If you don't know this reference, I pity you.
Yeah.
And the road you rode in on.
Yeah.
What? That's not the saying. And the horse you rode in on. Actually, and I pity you and the road you horsed in on. You know, following the logic of good morning. Okay.
Just
that was
let me tell
good joker.
You guys, I don't know if you know it, but we are both Portuguese, and right now in the movie theaters, in the cinemas, there is Variações.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I've heard really great things about it, and then really bad things about it.
Yeah.
What, did you see it?
No, I haven't watched it. You want to know my prognosis?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right. For that, I'll need a lot of gasoline and a torch.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you have any faith?
I used to. I remember faith when I was a kid. I remember eating cereal in the morning and watching cartoons, and my mother's smile just gleaming in the morning sun, and I thought, life is going to be wonderful. And then you watch this shit happening, and you're like, what the fuck happened? We just stepped inside one of Dante's 7 circles of hell, and I don't know where I am anymore. I look at that poster, I want to kill people. That's my prognosis.
Okay. I don't know. I'm
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I just fucking do.
Okay.
I fucking doodly do. Okay. And here's why.
Just let me say one thing. I hope they focus more on music than in everything else, because we tend to put the music in the background. In the background, and Variações. It's about António Variações. It was for me
one of the most influential Portuguese musicians
in the 80s. And I have to say this, he was a gay guy, and I think that's, I hope it's not the main thing in the movie. I hope it's the music and obviously that, but if they go full on full blown, it's just I haven't heard that. That's not what I heard at all. I mean, it's obvious. It's a big part of the musician's life, of that artist's life. So obviously it's going to be portrayed, and that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. Yeah, but not only that.
Yeah. So the reason Bruno is saying this, and if he didn't say it, I would, is is because there's a tendency in Portuguese movies to focus a lot on the sexuality when the story suffers from it.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you want to tell a story about sex and focused on sexuality. That's one thing. It's another completely different thing to use sexuality to sell your movies that story-wise are not that deep or not that good. So it's one thing that we had to put up with all our lives, and hope. I'm just praying that when I watch that movie, and I know that I eventually am going to watch that movie, I just hope it doesn't focus too much on the sexuality thing.
And I think actually if they focus on the music part more,
how it came about.
And Variações would be really, really happy with that because he loved music.
That's right.
He loved his music. He loved everything about music.
Listen, if they did a real homage of that man's relationship with music, the way that these movies that we've been talking about did, it would be a great movie. Yeah. Here's the reason why I'm so pessimistic about that movie. I was it was obviously hyperbole, my reaction, but not that much. And I'll tell you why, because before I came into the studio, I heard a review. I was told a review by someone I really, really trust when it comes to these things. And if this person said that movie is awful, there's a reason for that, and one of the characterizations he said was this one, the one that you're fearing so much. It's a very Portuguese movie. So this is what we mean. If you lived here, you would know exactly what we mean. And the reason why we criticize our Portuguese films so much is because we have so much good that we can do in the film industry, and we're just not doing it. And the reason is lack of dedication to the product, to the story, to the characters. There's lack of dedication, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'll go on stage with anybody who wants to counter-argue this. There is not enough dedication to the art itself. You're taking it for granted, and then we get these fucking shitty movies that prevent us from having a real film industry in Portugal. And I haven't watched Variações, so I'm just talking out my ass. This is pure speculation. I'm not probably wrong, but I really fucking hope that I'm wrong.
Let's go see that movie.
Yeah, let's go watch that movie together. Because like we usually say, if we're gonna run, if we're gonna have to crawl through an oil pipe of shit,
let's do it together.
But I might as well do it together. We did it. We did this with Highlander the Source. We're going to do it with Faust. We're going to do it with Variações. Hopefully, honestly, and this is I think I can speak for the both of us. We so hope that we are wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. Please prove me wrong when I watch this movie. Please.
I want that movie to be good. You know?
I do too.
I really want to.
I do too. Yeah. But I've also been told that there's another movie about a Portuguese musician, Tony.
Let's not go there, please.
No, wait a minute.
No, please.
I actually heard that it's not as bad as it looks. So.
Did you see it?
No.
I saw it. So let's end it here, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry. You don't have to go running for the needles. I'm sorry. Come back.
Tony. It's a documentary, but it's autobiography. So.
It's an autobiographical documentary.
Yeah, so fuck that. It went like this. I'm going to tell you how it went, and I did this, I did this. It's okay. Usually, it's
told in the third person.
Yeah, I don't. And since Tony, you guys don't know this, but Tony had several problems with copyright
infringements
stuff.
And
stuff like that. And in the movie, they try to clarify that.
All right.
And that's a good move. But it's not. It's not my movie. It's not. No.
No. Well, the only thing I heard that was good about it was this is not necessarily a good thing. You'll understand when I'm finished. So maybe I should finish first. Hey! Okay. So what they told me is that it accurately portrays the state of the music business in Portugal.
Okay.
That's not necessarily a good thing because it doesn't mean that it's in a good state. I don't know. This is just a review that someone told me. I haven't watched the movie. So I can't tell you.
Okay.
You have.
When I saw the movie, I saw Tony being Tony, and Tony being Tony again, and people praising Tony, and he He actually
Can I take a picture of your face right now?
he actually criticizes himself.
Well, that's a good thing.
And that's a really good thing.
How often do you see
Considering,
that?
but is it? Is he being honest? Is he acting?
Oh.
I don't know. So
okay, maybe it's a marketing stunt.
but yeah, exactly. I didn't see much of the Portuguese music industry in there. Just hints of So that's it. Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Listen, if anybody out there has watched any of these two movies that we're talking about, please feel free to contact us and tell us what
Unless
your
you're
experience
Portuguese, I don't believe that. But yeah,
was. But hey, you don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure there's at least one non-Portuguese person that's watched one of these movies. Hey, but by the way, the box office would completely disagree with you.
Really?
Right now, Tony is the highest-grossing Portuguese movie.
I didn't see that when I was in the okay.
No. I'm just saying this is.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't researched this. This was told to me by someone that works in the film industry. They told me Tony is right now the highest-grossing Portuguese movie.
Yeah, lots of seats, but yeah.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe there's a chance that somewhere in the country. Listen, he brings so many people to his concerts.
Yeah. No.
It's not necessarily a big leap of faith to see that this can be a highest grossing
in Lisbon, maybe you don't see that
many. Yeah.
but
many people
in the north of the country,
outside the major
so,
metropolitan areas, I would say that
Yeah.
it's probably bringing a lot of people. Listen, this guy fills huge stadiums of people in his concerts. So he fills huge stadiums of people, and then he burns them down. He's a fascist. No, he just moves a lot of big, huge crowds.
And
probably the biggest Portuguese crowds.
Portuguese immigrants.
See, there's another niche.
Yeah, that's
so
a huge
I'm
niche.
not listen. If you take under consideration the amount of people that the amount of Portuguese, the amount of people that Portuguese movies bring to the movie theaters, it's not that hard to believe that it's the highest grossing movie, Portuguese movie, because we don't. Anyway, this is a whole nother topic. Maybe for another BASTERCAST. Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Or maybe for another BASTERCAST. By the way, people, if you're Portuguese listeners out there, we are going to do some BASTERCAST in Portuguese. I'm sorry, English people listening to this and non-English people who are familiar with the English language, but there's a good chance for you to learn Portuguese by listening to the BASTERCAST in Portuguese. And for those of you in the Portuguese audience, hey, how good is it to know that? Yeah, that one guy that's listening to us. Hey, we got your back. Okay, so let's jump to the new topic.
Yeah.
All right. This was a great list, though. I'm really glad that I have so many movies that
you're proud of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. We both mashed up here a lot of really good movies,
and I'm sure we didn't put all of the movies.
Yeah. By the way, if there's any movies that are really good and that are focused on music, real or fictional biopics, but if there are any out there that we haven't mentioned and you feel like we could have included in our list, hey, send us over, please. Let us know, because we're always looking for good movies. Or if you
don't agree and you think we are both assholes, just let us know.
Listen, if you think we're both assholes, we are going to make sure that your comment goes to the top of the list. Please let us know. At least tell us why. It doesn't have to be a real reason. Just make shit up. We don't care. Yeah. But be creative. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
All right. So the next topic is... Wait a minute. Did you select that, Belle? No, actually, sir. I took the liberty. Thank you. Right. Okay. So this is how it's going.
So, wait. Are you touching my computer or something like that?
Actually, sir, there is a possibility of locking your computer when you're not using it. It's called the screensaver. What the fuck is this? If you don't mind, I'm just gonna have a sandwich. Just go fucking have your sandwich then. God damn it, man. You know, it's so hard to find good hands these days. Anyway, you know, he's a cousin of someone. I don't care. Anyway, okay, so the next topic is the best satire movies that you've watched. And here's how we're going to begin this. When we mention satire movies, we often think of comedies that take things to an exaggerating extreme. But here's how I want to start this. I want to start this by telling you what the definition of satire is, according to dictionary.com. And satire, a noun, means the use of irony, sarcasm, ridicule, or the like in exposing, denouncing, or deriding vice, folly, etc. It can also be a literary composition, in a verse or prose, in which human folly and vice are held up to scorn, derision, or ridicule. So this can be achieved in a number of ways, not just comedy. So when we speak about satire, we obviously want movies that ridicule, scorn, and denounce, expose vice and human vice and folly. This can come in a number of forms, and here we go into the list. I have a lot of items on my list. How about you?
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you very much.
For what?
For that list, for that explanation. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. Actually, to be honest, I don't want to say this too loud. It was the Englishman out of nowhere that actually gave me this. It was a pretty good idea.
Okay.
Don't tell the motherfucker. I heard that. Okay. First item on my list is, I don't know, actually. There's so many good ones. Let me start
Just
with...
pick one.
I know, but
Just
give me a moment.
one.
You're always rushing me. I told you, I don't like it when you rush me. Give me a second. All right. Okay, I'm back. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to start with this one. I don't want to start with this one. I'm going to start with this one. Anyway, this is a movie that I haven't watched entirely. And this was just one of those, it just skipped my mind. I don't know how. But when I'm looking for classics, I don't know why I keep forgetting this one to rewatch. I watched it when I was really young. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Stanley
1964. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick, one of my favorite all-time directors. One of my all-time favorite directors. Let me correct that. I'm just talking shit. If you want, I can shut. Oh. I like you though. You do good work. Okay, so yes, it's a Stanley Kubrick movie. Came out in 1964, so right about when you were born.
What?
And the synopsis says, an insane general. You should see him from where I'm standing. He fucking looks old as shit. Anyway, synopsis. An insane general triggers a path to nuclear holocaust that a war room full of politicians and generals frantically tries to stop.
Yeah.
So it's a magnificent movie. I only remember bits and parts of it because I was really, really young when I watched it, and I probably had to go to the bathroom a couple of times. I was that young, and I was coming out of my diaper. So obviously that's not based on true events, but you know what I mean. It was a long time ago. I don't remember it fully. I just remember, even at a young age, how masterful it was. I remember feeling like I was watching something refreshing, and I was a kid, and I hadn't watched that many movies. I just thought, this is so outside the box. This is so unusual, and it's a great satire. Here's what I've done though. I've studied this movie so much in my adult age, and as we progressed in our individual film careers, I've studied this movie so much, and I keep forgetting to rewatch it. But what I know is it's one of the best satires ever made.
Peter Sellers is amazing, and also George C. Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
George C. Scott as General Buck Turgison.
I didn't remember the name, but yeah.
And yeah, you're right. I don't think we need to sing Mr. Peter Sellers' praises. If our audience is in any way, shape, or form familiar with film history, they'll see that Peter Sellers is one of its biggest names when it comes to satire. Yeah. I recently watched, actually, one of my friends recommended that we watched one night in London, The Party, with Peter Sellers when he plays an Indian man at a party. It's so good. It's so satirical. So obviously this is the right guy for the part when you want a satire, especially in the 60s. Did you watch it?
The Party? No.
No, not The Party. The Dr. Strangelove.
Yes.
How long ago? Do you remember?
More than 12. No, more than 15 years ago.
So what is your recollection of it?
The craziness of it all. The ending.
Yeah. Spoilers, by the way, again.
And Mostly the performance of Peter Sellers and George C. Scott, whom I really love. For example, George C. Scott did a movie called Patton.
Yeah, Patton. Yeah,
and it's
Great
a
movie.
great movie. I saw it when I was a kid, and what I do recall is the story, obviously, and the directing.
Yeah.
And the performance of those two guys, especially, and the craziness of it all again. It's
And when it comes to a satire, to it being a satire, how would you describe this kind of satire?
It's a product of the time when it was made, right?
Made, yeah.
Do you think it would be done the same
Today? No. With the political correctness that's happening these days?
No,
Are you
no.
kidding me?
I agree with you.
Jesus, no.
So yes, I think it's a product of the time.
Yeah.
And again, that thing that you said about in the movie Party.
Mm-hmm. So Peter Sellers is an Indian man.
Yes.
Right now, this movie would have been burned at the stake.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it tells us a lot about where we are as a people. And God damn it, please, everybody, get a goddamn grip.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know who else stars in the?
I don't remember.
In Dr. Strangelove?
No, I don't remember.
James Earl Jones.
Really?
Yeah, as Lieutenant Lothar Zog.
Yeah, the names.
Yeah.
I do remember that it was in black and white, right?
Yeah. It was in black and white. And if I remember correctly, I'm going to check it here, but I think this is from memory, so I might be wrong with this, but I think Peter Sellers actually did more than one role. Here it is. Yeah, he did more than one part. He did Group Captain Lionel Mandrake, President Merkin Muffley, and Dr. Strangelove. So yeah, Stanley Kubrick at his best, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
We're both big fans of Stanley Kubrick. So great addition to this list. Now your turn, man.
Okay, just let me. Okay, this is really a classic, The Great Dictator.
Oh, that was the number 2 on my list.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Number 2
by Charlie Chaplin.
It should be said it's written by and directed by Charlie Chaplin and starring Charlie Chaplin.
And I think the soundtrack is by Charlie Chaplin as well.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Usually he composed the music as well, and at least in other movies.
Okay, musical director, music department, other crew, sound department, set decorations, and original music by Charles Chaplin and Meredith Wilson. That's a hard name to say. Meredith Wilson. Okay.
That's a wonderful movie, and I think everyone knows.
Oh yeah, and listen, it has. I've studied this speech so often, or I mentioned this speech so often. The dictator's speech at the end.
Yeah.
It's one of the best speeches ever recorded on film.
Do you remember the year?
Yeah, sure. It's remember it. I have it in front of me. It's 1940. Oh, those were the days. Yeah. Oh, as Stewie would put it, those were the days. Yes, 1940.
So, in the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment?
During the Second World War.
Yeah, during the Second World War. I mean, how gutsy is this? It was the first year of the Second World War.
It was the second year.
Second year of the Second World War. Yeah. And this guy does this. Yeah. Millions of people dying. And he does this absolute... Again, bringing back to your point from before, do you think something like this would pass the current censorship that we're having
nowadays? No.
And how important do you think this was to shape the mentalities of those who were going through such a horrific ordeal as the Second World War?
I don't think. Back then, yes. I don't know if Charlie Chaplin would be.
He wouldn't be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be in the spotlight for the wrong reasons. Exactly. He would be attacked, and you know what this would be as well? So here's an Englishman passing off as a German.
Yeah.
You know what this would be? Cultural appropriation.
Yes.
So how stupid would this be right now?
Yeah.
to go through all these loops.
Well, maybe not so, because he was making fun of
A dictator,
Nazi.
a fascist, a Nazi. Yeah. No, I was trying to use the parlance of our time. But anyway, no, this is bringing up a lot of good issues, and I hope you guys in the comments below feel free to jump in and take part in this conversation, because it is a conversation that needs to be had at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know what? But I am optimistic with this. With this, I am optimistic. I see the counter argument wave gaining force. So what I mean is, I think that we're headed to a resolution when it comes to these things as censoring art. I think we're coming to a resolution.
I don't know.
But this
I
is
don't
me
know.
being optimistic. I just see a trend of people
counterwave. Yes.
counterwave.
It's actually the counterculture, right?
Yeah, it is. And if there's anything that makes a mark in history, is the counterculture.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. Okay. Let's jump from a dictator in World War II to Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ Superstar?
No, Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Yeah.
1979. Monty Python's Life of Brian. If there ever was a comedy, satire on religion, man, this to me is the one. And the synopsis is: born on the original Christmas in the stable next door to Jesus. Okay, let me just get through this. Born on the original Christmas in the stable next door to Jesus, Brian of Nazareth spends his life being mistaken for a Messiah. How genius is this?
Remember that part when he goes to the window in the morning?
Of course, when he's naked. Oh, the Lord, the Messiah. No, I'm not the Messiah. Get away, get away. Oh, man. You know, it's funny we're doing this list. We actually just decided upon this earlier today. And you know what I started rewatching?
What?
The Faulty Towers.
I have that on DVD.
Yeah, I started rewatching it.
It's really good.
I have the whole series as well.
Manuel, yeah.
Manuel, he's from Barcelona. Okay. hey, that's something else that wouldn't pass the censorship these days. No. I think we're hitting the mark on the... Hey, you know what this list could be also of? This is really good English, by the way. Yes, it is. Congratulations. Shut! I'm sorry, you're a valuable element of our team, and I wish you would stay. So, this could be another type of list. This could be a list of movies that wouldn't be made today.
I have some here, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Life of Brian, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. One of my favorite moments of the movie, I want to ask you if you have one, but one of my favorite moments of the movie is when he trips, falls into a hole, and there was a man there sitting in a vow of silence for years and years. And he gets so annoyed that this guy fell into his hole and hit him. Then he starts speaking, and he says something along the lines of, I was silent for so many years, and this man made me speak. And he's angry, but the crowd doesn't see it. The crowd just goes, oh, he makes the mute speak. It's a miracle. Oh, man. That's one of my favorite moments in the movie. Yeah. Do you have one? Do you remember?
The window thing and that as well.
Yeah. All right. So, your turn.
My turn. Okay, I don't know if this movie would be made today. Tropic Thunder.
Oh, I had that one. Yeah. I chose not to put it in my list, but I also... Yeah. Great movie.
Great movie with Ben Stiller, by Ben Stiller. I think it was
his directorial debut.
Yeah.
Debut.
Debut.
It's actually pronounced debut. Thank you.
With Jack Black, Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., and that part with Robert Downey Jr. I don't know if it would be made today.
No, I mean...
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. You know what? Being who he is.
Yeah.
With all the love of Iron Man that he's gathered around him.
Yeah,
maybe.
But you know what people do to heroes, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. So, Tropic Thunder. Great soundtrack, movie. By the way, by Tyler Bates, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. But I really like that movie, and it's for me, it's a great satire.
A great satire, yeah.
Satire, yes.
I remember Four Leaf, Nick Nolte's character.
Yeah.
Four Leaf.
Yeah.
You have to put them in the shit. and Danny McBride, he was the special effects supervisor in the movie, really hysterical. And he's supposed to get a sign to blow the whole forest up, and he mistakes the sign, and he's just really happy. Everybody's just blowing up everywhere, and he's just really happy. And he goes, Mother Nature just pissed her pants off. Oh man, such a great movie. And we are flaming dragon. Really good. All right, so a really good satire. Not just, I don't think it's obviously a satire about war films, but it's also a satire about
the movie industry as
well. The movie industry, action heroes, comedy heroes, just the life in Hollywood. Yeah. It's so good. You never go full retard. Remember
that today?
Just this line, just this moment. A white man playing a black man, telling people, I'm a dude who's playing a dude who's masquerading as another dude. I know who I am. You never go full retard. John Penn, I Am Sam, went full retard, went home empty-handed. Tom Hanks, he was retard, yes, but relatable. He built shit. He was smart. Won an Oscar. You never go full retard. So good, man. Yeah. All right. So really good comedies here. Now, one of my favorite and also one of the most misunderstood satires
and underrated movies. Maybe
I wouldn't know.
If it's the one I think it is,
American Psycho.
Yes.
All right. So it's such a it's one of to me, for me, it's like Christian Bale's breakout role. For me personally, of course, he was in. Steven Spielberg. Remind me, when he was a kid. With John Malkovich.
Yeah, I know the Sun.
Empire of the Sun.
Empire of the Sun.
Jesus.
Yes.
Okay, Empire of the Sun. Obviously, he was a kid and he was a child actor by the.
And he had the movies there afterwards.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
this one
for me is like when he showed his true potential.
Yeah.
This is such a good movie. I don't know why. It's hard to fathom why it did. You're right. I wouldn't call it underrated because it is a cult film and it's found its niche. But why isn't it more mainstream? Because it's such a it's just a complete film.
And the way it's filmed, with all the 80s cliches, the soundtrack, and the fertility of it all, it's incredible. And Patrick Bateman, right?
Patrick Bateman was the character.
Do you remember that whole scene with the business cards?
Of course. There were several scenes about the business cards.
The other guys are there showing the business cards and they react differently, but he's obsessed with it.
And the way it's shot, that close-up on his face when he sees the other guy's business card.
Takes it really too seriously. And the thing with the restaurant.
I
don't remember the restaurant, but there was a restaurant that was really difficult to get a reservation there.
Oh yeah,
I think Jared Leto's character gets the reservation
exactly,
and he gets really envious, and
he mistakes he mistakes Christian Bale's character for someone else. And he just rolls with it. Oh man, it's an amazing movie. Actually, no, it's based on a book. I've never read the book. But it's based on a book. And for those new censors out there, it was directed by Mary Harron. One great film director that I'm just sorry I don't know more about her filmography. Actually, this is something that I could look into. What else she directed? Oh, wait a minute. It was her only credit directing? Wait a minute, no, I'm reading this wrong. Let me just see what else she directed to see if we recognize any. No, I don't recognize anything else.
Dorsia. I think the restaurant is called Dorsia.
Dorsia, Dorsia. Anyway, American Psycho, a really, really good movie. Not just the soundtrack. I mean, it has so many iconic scenes. And hey, Paul! Remember that scene when he's just dancing to Hulu on the news and getting the apartment ready? Spoilers for a murder, for next murder. Man, go ahead.
That part when he takes off the mask.
That's one of my favorite things.
And I think we're listening to
Patrick Bateman's skin is slowly peeling off, something like that.
No, it's something like it's saying it's not real. It's more like an entity.
Yeah,
something like that. While he's peeling that
well, he has
mask.
one of those face masks on.
Yeah,
the ones that.
Yeah, because it takes care of himself. Like
he's in
like
tip-top
diamond,
shape.
yeah.
He's like magazine cover. Perfect. Health-wise and appearance-wise, and he takes really good care of himself. So he has this face mask on, the kind that's supposed to rejuvenate your skin, and it sticks to your face, and then you have to peel it off at the end of the treatment. And there's a moment there when they get really close and personal with him peeling it off, and he's talking about his narration,
the persona,
talking about the real persona, his Patrick Bateman and. Oh man, it's just
did you notice that sex scene where he's
there are a couple,
or something like that
with the prostitutes.
Yeah, he doesn't get off
with the sex,
but filming himself
or watching himself in the mirror.
That's what excites him. It's a really fucked up movie.
It's really,
it's incredible.
Really powerful.
Yeah.
And one of the most gut-wrenching scenes that is also one of the best scenes in my view is the scene with the homeless guy.
Yeah, where he kills the homeless guy.
But before he kills him, remember what he does?
No.
He first compliments him, and he fakes that he's empathizing with the homeless man. He fakes empathy. Just to get the homeless man.
He was incapable of emotion, by the way.
Yeah, he says that he's incapable of emotion and he's just pretending.
Yeah.
But with the homeless man, who was, by the way, helpless. Regardless of what you did to him, he could not defend himself. So what does this character choose to do? Fake empathy to bring up all these emotions in the homeless man and just break them, and it just starts insulting and breaking his ego, and then he kills him
with a knife.
With a knife, he just stabs him to death. I mean, it's
gut wrenching. Yeah,
it's gut wrenching, man, to watch that and to see he really gave it all. Christian Bale, man, that's why I say he's such a terrific actor.
Isn't it in this movie that he changes his facial expression in the scene? Just like this in a second. I don't know if while leaving a room or something like that.
We watched the movie together.
Yeah,
that New Year's Eve at my place. That's right. So we watched the first time we watched this movie. Oh man, I remember that one. Yeah. So we basically spent New Year's Eve. We just sat at my place and we rented a couple of horror movies, and we watched them. One of them was American Psycho. We didn't know anything about the movie at the time, and then there's this one scene where we stopped and rewinded it. For those who don't know what rewind is, I beg you to.
But in the DVD,
it was in a DVD. I don't know if it's in the parlance of our times, but anyway, we rewound this part 2 or 3 times just to see the way he changes his expression, and it's the scene at the dry cleaners.
Exactly.
Remember that?
Yeah.
When there are a lot of things happening there. He's trying. The woman is screaming at him to say that he cannot take the red stains off his white sheets, and she says it's blood, and he's trying to convince them it's grape juice, and then he just goes. He threatens to kill them, to kill the dry cleaning lady, the Chinese lady, and then someone runs into him at the dry cleaners, and he pretends he's smiling and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I really have to go. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll catch up later." Really smiley and
really
sociable.
Tense.
And really tense. And then the very second before he steps off scene, his face just turns into this emotionless but driven, dark persona. I mean, it's just a split second. Oh man, that's such an amazing moment. Great movie. Great movie. And I want to rewatch it for the 10th time or 15th time. I've lost count. Your turn.
Okay, Idiocracy.
Okay, yeah. We both have this one on our list. Fuck off.
From 2006.
Yeah.
By Mike Judge. With Luke Wilson, Terry Crews as president. Do you remember?
Maya Rudolph, a Saturday Night Live alumni.
Yeah. Terry Crews was the president, right?
Terry Crews was the president.
Yeah, because I've seen this movie a long time ago. But yeah,
he started the parliamentary discussions by shooting at the ceiling with a Uzi.
Exactly. So this movie is really interesting nowadays. Yeah. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah.
There's a lot. You know that one thing that the director Mike Judge said in an interview when he was asked something. I think it was something along the lines of, "So how do you think your movie aged over the years?" And he said, "You know, I thought I was making a comedy, but apparently I was making a documentary." And it just everything came true.
Yeah.
And it's eerie to see. One thing that I particularly like. Listen, I want you to have the mic though, because I don't want to step over. But just one thing is, when I watched the movie, it was a long time ago, and I remember thinking that it was a little far-fetched to believe that people were going to communicate with symbols. At the hospital, remember, where does it hurt? And you have the pictures of the people and where it might hurt, and you press the place where it hurts. Yeah. And nowadays we see what emojis are doing.
Emojis everywhere, even outside smartphones, outside the internet.
I mean, I went to this supermarket a couple of years ago, and at the end, at the little cash machine that they have at the near the cash registers, how was your service?
And you have a smile.
Smiley, it's a red angry smile, a neutral white yellow smile. Yeah, right. That's the franchise exactly.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I saw the movie, I liked it, but it wasn't. I didn't like it that much.
Yeah,
I found myself liking the movie
in retrospect.
Exactly, and today much more. Do you know? I think Ethan Cohen was one of the writers.
Okay, so
along with Mike Judge. I think.
Yeah. So Ethan Cohen actually co-wrote the screenplay with Mike Judge. Mike Judge came up with a story, and they both wrote the screenplay. And it doesn't. How to say this? It's not a surprise. However, we're not talking about one of the Coen brothers.
No.
This is not one of the Coen brothers. Okay. So when I saw Ethan Cohen there, I thought, okay, yeah.
Because the other one is Ethan Cohen. This one is without an H. Yeah, it's a different person.
Yeah, it's a different person. This one wrote such movies as Men in Black 3, Get Hard. Holmes and Watson was actually written by this Ethan Cohen, and he wrote one episode of American Dad and King of the Hill. 10 episodes.
Holmes and Watson, the last one we
watched, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and Men in Black 3.
Men in Black 3.
Oh.
Well, there was a couple of good things in Men in Black 3, but honestly, it the second and the third one are so far off. Fell so far from the tree of the first one that it's I don't know, it's just a different tone. I'm not a fan. But I did enjoy some of the actually we say rear end. No, it wasn't that kind of butt. So one thing that I really liked about that movie is the character that sees all possible futures. Men in Black 3.
Okay.
Remember that one? Oh, if this happens, then that's going to happen. We should run. Oh wait, that didn't happen, so we're okay.
Yeah.
So I really like that. But anyway, this Ethan Cohen is not the same as one of the Coen brothers.
So
anyway, what did you like? Idiocracy. Tell me about Idiocracy. What you remember about it, and why is it important for other people to watch it?
Because it connects really, really. Your face, man. Because it connects really, really well with nowadays. Come on, it's hyperbole, you know. It's really out there. It's a really huge exaggeration. It's not like that. But the message is there. The message is correct. The synopsis of the movie, it's pretty simple. A guy, I think he's going to be tested, right?
Tested?
Not tested, but he volunteers.
He volunteers for a procedure.
Yeah, and
so the synopsis.
Okay.
If you want, it says Private Joe Bowers, the definition of average American, is selected by the Pentagon to be the guinea pig for a top-secret hibernation program. Forgotten, he awakes 5 centuries in the future. He discovers a society so incredibly dumbed down that he's really the most intelligent person alive.
Because nowadays he's not bright at all.
Right now, we would be just the average Joe.
Yeah.
The guy that has a steady job, collects a paycheck, doesn't really want to bother with anything in his life. And then 5 centuries into the future, he's the smartest man alive. This is it's talk about satire. This
and
is
they don't drink water. Do you remember that part?
Brondo. They drink Brondo.
Brondo is the name of the energy drink.
And they're this is one of the most memorable things about the movie, and probably everybody that's watched it remembers this, which is they're really upset because the crops are not growing. Because they're watering crops with Brondo because Brondo has everything you need.
And there's sponsorships for everything. Yeah,
there's sponsorships.
The president, I think, he has sponsorships. And
it's such a complete movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good. But like you, I only loved it in retrospect.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I thought this is kind of a silly, stupid comedy.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew it was
Exactly.
going to grow it so much into popular culture? Okay,
next movie.
talking about stuff that is hyperbolic. I have to mention these 2 in a row, just because they're so connected and they're in the same genre. Airplane, 1980, and 1980 exactly, and then 1988, The Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun, yeah.
Both starring Leslie Nielsen. Well, one starring Leslie Nielsen and the other supporting actor.
Yeah,
Leslie
supporting
Nielsen.
actor, yeah.
So Airplane is a satire that revolves around an airplane trip. And stop calling me Shirley. Surely you know about this. No, I didn't. And stop calling me Shirley.
Amazing movie.
Oh man, it's an amazing movie. I watched this so many times.
Both of them.
So tell me about Airplane. What do you remember?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, I don't know if it's in the first one or the second one, that part where they grab the old lady. In the check-in. They grab the old lady, but they allow a lot.
I think it's the second one. Airplane 2. Yeah, but it's a good scene.
Yeah.
So they let people with
weapons
and weapons pass through security, but this old lady is a menace, so they pat her down.
And the auto. Do you remember the autopilot?
I remember when she had to
activate.
Well, not activate. It was an inflatable dummy that took hold of the controls of the airplane, and somebody punctured it, and so it started deflating. And to reinflate it, let's just say that the inflation
was done below.
Area, the area where you blow air into this dummy, who is the autopilot. This is hard to explain. The place where you blow, the hole where you blow, is actually in the nether region.
Down under.
Down under, yeah. And
no, there's a lot much more.
There's so much more to that movie. The Love Boat. Remember that moment where he's running away from prison,
and you see
there's a guy just singing The Love Boat.
It's actually the
singer of Love Boat.
I think so. It's I don't remember the name. But yeah.
Here's another scene that I love. We just want to let you know that we have the fuel has run out, and that we don't have any landing gear. Everybody's just sitting and listening, and also we ran out of coffee. Everybody goes berserk and killing everybody. Oh,
and all the sweat of the guy when he's trying to land.
I have a drinking problem. He misses the mouth. That's so good.
Really good.
Oh man.
And the Naked Gun as well.
The Naked Gun, right. Yeah. So
Leslie Nielsen. Come on.
Leslie Nielsen was I'm sorry to say, Leslie Nielsen was the man. He was in so many of these movies. It was just great. So, but here's the synopsis for Airplane, just so you can hear it. A man afraid to fly must ensure that a plane lands safely after the pilot becomes sick. The pilots become sick.
Yeah.
This doesn't even scratch the surface of the movie, but it's so good. Another one. So The Naked Gun. For those who are not familiar with the series, this is actually a series of films. Every single one of them is great. If you want a good laugh, if you love Leslie Nielsen as much as we do. Incompetent police detective. This is the synopsis. Incompetent police detective Frank Drebin must foil an attempt to assassinate Queen Elizabeth II. Now, this includes the talents of not only Leslie Nielsen, but also Priscilla Presley. In every single one of these movies, she's the love interest.
Yeah.
And O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson, yeah.
Right.
Remember that part where...
With the afro?
With the afro, yeah. But when he enters the... I think before he gets to the hospital, because the character of O.J. Simpson gets
hurt,
yeah. I don't remember. It's such a stupid scene inside a boat, I think. Right?
Oh.
But I think it gets shot a lot. But what hurts him, it's stupid things like an iron.
Yeah. No, it's not O.J. Simpson's character.
No,
it's not even Naked Gun. It's the one. It's not. No, it's Naked Gun, but it's like Naked Gun second and a half. Or something like that, and or 3 3/4. It's something like that. It's one of the other two, where there's this SWAT team guy, a black SWAT team man who runs into a boat to save people, and he gets shot. And as he tries to run away, he gets hurt with all of that shit. One of the things that I remember, I'm not sure if this is the first movie as well, but I mean we watched all three one after the other, so we mashed them up in our memories. It's that moment when O.J. Simpson's character has his little gun, and he starts putting the silencer and another cap, and adds this and adds that. By the end, he has a tank or a anti-aerial gun, something like that. Man, it's just a great movie. It's so what's the word? Wholesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's wholesome. So it's also a great. These movies were great satires to vices and habits in our culture. I think it's really good. I remember this one movie with Priscilla Presley. I think it's the second movie where they're in Frank Draben's apartment and they're about to make love.
And they put the huge condoms in.
So their idea of protected sex is a condom that covers them from head to toe. I'll just say that. It's an amazing movie. Just go watch it. You'll thank us later. So, next one.
Team America.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember seeing that in the movie theater?
I remember we couldn't stop
laughing.
And
we couldn't stop laughing. By Trey Parker. That's the dude behind South Park, right?
Yeah. He's one of the South Park creators. I think it's both of them that created Team America, no?
Yeah.
So both of them created Team America as well.
I think so.
I think they always work together, like us.
And the main team, America.
America, fuck yeah,
and all the cliches and it's
derpa,
and that scene in Paris with the mime
with the mime
fuck.
And the puking. I just remember the puking, and the love making. Remember that love scene with the dolls?
It was a love scene that I couldn't stop laughing.
I couldn't stop laughing as well. You know, one of my favorite moments of that movie. Well, various moments. It becomes a cliche in that movie. It's when you have the team leader.
Yeah.
That is directing the team, and he's
all over the place.
He's always moving. His chair is always moving,
even in the ceiling.
That's
so stupid, man. Fuck.
Oh man, that's a great one.
Okay.
Another one. Let me see.
Lots of them.
I think that will do it for me when it comes to comedy. Oh no. Oh, okay. This one is good too. Okay, it's my last comedy movie. Borat.
Borat.
Cultural learnings of America for a make benefit glorious nation of Kazakhstan. So everybody's heard of Borat. Either via the TV series or this amazing satire of the Western world. And the synopsis says the following. Let me get through this. Kazakh TV talking head Borat is dispatched to the United States to report on the greatest country in the world. With the documentary crew in tow, Borat becomes more interested in locating and marrying Pamela Anderson. That is pretty accurate, as strange as that might seem. That's pretty accurate. And so, yeah, Borat. Tell me about Borat.
Do you remember his sidekick?
Yes, Bogdan. I think it was Bogdan, wasn't it? Let me see. His name is Azamat. Sorry, Azamat. Yeah.
Oh man, that movie is a roller coaster. It's
It is a roller coaster, yeah.
I cannot define that thing.
Here's something that would not pass the censors today. There's so much.
That's
There's so much. There's so much.
Even with Bruno.
Bruno, yeah.
The other movie. Now, come on.
I thought you were talking about yourself?
Yeah.
Your cameo?
Yeah, my cameo.
That was, Bruno had a cameo in Bruno.
No.
Redundant as that sounds. And he was the head that is pretending to be Bruno's penis saying Bruno.
No, it's fake news, okay? Come on.
Hey, WikiFacts. Look it up on WikiFacts. Anyway. No, but even more than Bruno, yeah. Borat went all in.
Yeah.
And so here's just one of the hundreds of things that would not pass the censorship today. I met real chocolate face. No makeup. And then it cuts to a black politician in America.
Yeah.
And the poop jokes at the dinner table with that family.
Really
I think it could be Americanized. Excuse me, where can I put this? And it's a bag of his own shit.
During dinner, right?
Yeah, it was during dinner. You are both very sexy ladies. Yes, not so much you. You not so much. Oh man, and remember that scene where he's trying to buy a car?
No.
I want to buy a car, a very potent car, and this is a great car you have right over here. The salesman says, oh yes, but how fast do I need to go to kill Jews? If I hit Jews with the car,
That's terrible.
This will get the job done. This is an actual person. This will get the job done.
Well, okay. Were they in
cahoots?
Yeah.
So were they in on the joke?
In on the joke.
How can you tell that?
From
Sacha Baron Cohen's movies. I can't tell when people are in.
No, they're not even not in Bruno.
Not in Bruno. Not in Ali.
Ali.
No, not Ali. What was the name?
No, it was
not Ali.
Ali G.
Ali G. Yeah, right. Ali G. Ali G was more fictional.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. But if they weren't, that's terrible. And if they were, well, kudos to them.
Yeah, kudos for them. Great acting. If they weren't, I'm sorry. But you were caught. But one of my favorite moments of that movie is when he's learning to tell jokes. Someone is teaching him to tell the not joke. Oh, you look so pretty today. Not.
Yeah.
So he just the inventive ways that he can make that not be funny. That is funny as hell.
Yeah.
What else do you remember? Obviously, everybody remembers the running naked scenes.
Running naked scenes, yeah. That's and the last scene where they
try to bag Pamela Anderson.
No,
not that last scene.
No, the wrestling scene.
That's
Bruno. That's Bruno.
That's Bruno. Yeah.
There was a sidekick in Bruno as well.
Yes, there was a sidekick. It was a German. It was a German love interest.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
I got this baby in Africa. I traded something for this baby in Africa. You traded? What did you trade? My iPod.
And the baby arriving in the suitcase area.
Man, in the suitcase area. And in the luggage belt. All right, but that's Bruno. Okay. We're talking about Borat. Borat is a really good satire on Western society, and in a lot of ways, it shows us how Western society went far with the social etiquette. Yeah. Right? So that's my main focus when I think of Borat. All right, that's enough of Borat. You, go ahead. Oh, by the way, a fun fact, Sacha Baron Cohen was the first choice to play Freddie Mercury in the Queen biopic that ended up being Bohemian Rhapsody with Rami Malek. Yeah. And what a choice that would have been. Not dissing on Rami Malek, I haven't watched the movie at all, but I think that Sacha Baron Cohen would have brought something very special. I'll watch Bohemian Rhapsody and I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah, your choice.
Wag the Dog.
Fuck, I can't believe I forgot Wag the Dog.
You forgot this? Yeah,
well, I forgot to put it in my list.
Amazing movie. And I know it's one of your favorites as well.
It is.
This is in fact by Barry Levinson with Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, and Heck. And Hesh. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's from 1997.
I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt.
Really?
I just wanted to tell you that, yes, it's actually pronounced An Hesh.
Okay, I know that already.
So it's An hesh. Just because heck is actually another word that we want to avoid using in this podcast here. So, sorry. So the sandwich is very good, by the way.
Okay, so you're telling us what we have to avoid or not?
I have to go now, but just give me 1 second. Right, what was that?
No, just forget about it. Okay, let's move on with the...
I'm telling you, I'm going to kill that guy one of these days. Anyway,
do you do remember the movie, right?
Of course.
Okay.
From head to toe, from beginning to end, I remember that movie.
Then you remember better than me, but all those maneuvers, all that bullshit that they were doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's. Do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
The answer to your question that you didn't make is yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So go ahead and ask the question.
Do you think that that's what really happens or could happen?
I think that's a very credible possibility.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, of course. I mean, weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, but yeah.
Not just that. I mean, it's folklore. It creates folklore.
Yeah.
Right.
But all that trouble, going to all the trouble to actually film that girl, that American girl, in the studio or something like that, portraying as if she was
running away from a burning village with a cat in her hand, a calico cat
in the Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah, I think it was Albania. Do I think they go to that trouble?
Yeah, I'm remembering that CNN thing.
Exactly. Yeah. How many times have they been caught?
So yes.
And this is just CNN.
Yeah.
Do you know that the CIA has a department that is specifically meant to be a liaison between the CIA and Hollywood to portray
and Hollywood?
Yeah, and Hollywood. They have like a back channel it's not really a back channel. It's an actual department. You can look it up online. And people, please do and prove me wrong. That there's like a film or film production CIA asset liaison, whatever, something, and they actually collaborate with Hollywood to make American armed forces and agencies look good. That's one. The second one is they, in exchange for this, they provide technical means, like I don't know, like airplanes and whatnot, military equipment. That's what I mean, and also. I mean, it's not far-fetched to believe that they have a hand in manipulating the kind of information that seeps into these movies. Now, when you ask me, is it credible to that something like Wag the Dog is based on real events, even if that movie, the actual movie isn't, if that's a credible possibility that sort of thing happens? Yeah, it's not far-fetched.
No, it's not that far-fetched to see that happening. In any place in some time in our history, yes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Operation Mockingbird. I think I'm not pronouncing it wrong. Operation Mockingbird is actually there are congressional hearings in the United States where the CIA states under oath that they actually manipulate information in media to basically to manipulate the public. That's what they do. It's not far-fetched, not at all. I mean, Wag the Dog actually, I don't know how it got made. It's one of those things, I don't know how it got made, because to me it's like, it's not that hard to believe. You have producers, you have one of the world's largest, greatest, most prolific film production companies in the world, well, film production industries in the world, I mean. So yeah, I mean, it's not incredible.
Okay.
All right. So, but about the movie itself, you know what the feeling I got? I think it's the same feeling, and I think it's why you were asking me this. How easy it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's why I asked. Yeah, it would be really it's not that easy for them in some parts of the movie, but they really do improvise, really
on the
go, on the fly.
Yeah. On the fly. Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's really impressive.
If
that really happens, it's.
But
really
listen, this is not a documentary. This is a fictional
film.
film.
A fictional film.
It is a satire, though. What it is satirizing is probably how these things can be manufactured.
Yeah.
By the way, Dustin Hoffman, what a great performance!
Yes.
That one of my favorite things about that movie, and that I keep when we shoot and you've probably heard me say this story when we were out shooting, and the crew is kind of down in the dumps because we ran into some sort of obstacle. What I tell them is, have you ever watched Wag the Dog?
Yeah, I do remember.
Because there's this one line where Dustin Hoffman keeps saying is, "What? This is nothing. This is nothing. Try shooting the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and in the last week of principal photography, one of the Horsemen died. That's a problem. This is nothing." So that's what I
remember you quoting that thing. That scene while we were shooting the first episode of Phobia Machine.
Oh,
yeah, it was
right.
supposed to be so simple, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. This is a TV series that we are still working on. It's groundbreaking, and it has so much to say, and we have so much to explore. It's a psychological, well, not psychological. It's a horror TV series and a thriller. It's also a sci-fi series. It's so much.
We'll talk about
that later. But basically, we tried shooting we shot the one potential pilot episode, and as any production goes, Murphy's Law came into play.
It was supposed to be so simple, man.
It was supposed to be so simple, but it was kind of a nightmare to shoot. But casting was cool. I like
casting was really cool.
All right,
so your turn.
My turn. Okay, let me get my list.
Surprise me.
Oh, I do have some surprises for you. I do. Are you mocking me, sir? No, I'm not mocking you, buddy. I'm not mocking you. Who hired that guy? Okay, so let's see which one I want to go into. Okay, here's a good one. One of my all-time favorite films. The Network. Actually, it's just called Network.
Is that with Robert Redford?
No, it's actually, but I think you're probably mistaking it. It's Robert Duvall.
No, I was thinking about Robert Redford, but it's not the same movie. No,
probably not. This is Faye Dunaway.
No.
Peter Finch, Robert Duvall, and so it came out in 1976, and the synopsis says, a television network cynically exploits a deranged former anchor's ravings and revelations about the news media for its own profit. Now, this is something that really touched Western society's pulse back in the day. Okay. Because this is a time when people were watching the news, they spent a lot of time watching television, and here's this anchor man. Instead of telling the news, he's being biblical, and people say he's deranged. He acts deranged, and even when he's alone, you see that this guy is not well. But what he says rings so true to people that he runs the risk of waking people up. Right, yeah. So Network, 1976. Yeah. It's one of the best movies you can watch if you want to see a really good satire on mass manipulation and the power of media and what it means to be your own person.
From
1976.
1976.
And it's one of my favorite directors that rarely gets mentioned, Sidney Lumet.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's one of your favorite directors.
Yeah, he's done a lot. He's done a lot of movies that are like benchmarks in my life. Let me just name a few. Let me open up the list here to see if I can find one that I know you really love. Okay. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, 2007.
Yeah.
Right, so that's one. There's so many, man. There's Network. There's Death Trap. The Verdict.
The Verdict as well?
Verdict, yeah. There's Dog Day Afternoon. Sidney Lumet, obviously. There's Serpico.
Serpico, yes.
Child's Play, 1972.
I have to see some of those movies again.
Yeah, I mean, anyway.
Okay.
Sidney Lumet, and if you haven't watched Network, please do. You'll be richer after it. Next one, your turn.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Really good choice. I thought about that one, but I didn't include it. Go ahead.
It's by Paul. How do you say this name? Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven.
Oh yeah,
The
Paul
same
Verhoeven.
director as RoboCop.
Yeah, I
Another
know. And
satire.
I have it here, so let's mash it up.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of people didn't understand Starship Troopers
Right.
as a satire. Some people that I actually know personally, they thought that was a really fascist movie, and it's not. It's satire. You know, it's. And I was a teenager when I saw the movie.
Yeah.
And I understood.
When did it come out?
1997.
Right.
Yeah, and I understood it
For what it was.
Yeah, for what it was. And actually, it's a really a good adventure and sci-fi movie as well at the same time. But one of the things that makes that movie for me so special is, as you know, the soundtrack by Basil Polidoris. Like in RoboCop as well. It's those
major fans.
Yeah, I think it's the Glendathu, not droppings, but the Glendathu something is one of the best themes of the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's not Glendathu droppings. It's something like that. I don't remember. Sorry. Yeah, but that's a really good satire.
I think there was a problem. There was an issue with the movie, which was people were actually hoping for a sci-fi adventure, and without the satire part.
But no.
I mean, it was marketed that way.
You see that clearly with the commercials within the movie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just bringing something to my attention, which is Paul Verhoeven likes to use commercials as illustrations of satire.
Like in RoboCop.
Yeah, like in RoboCop. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah. I wasn't remembering that. Yeah.
It was really good in the first one. The second one, it was also good, but the first was so, I'll buy that for $1. Well, that's not a commercial, but he used television to mock its viewers.
Yeah, the advertisement.
Yeah, the advertisements to mock its viewers. And it was so well placed because it was so off kilter. I mean, it was unbalanced. Why were those advertisements there? There is no need for those advertisements in these movies. Well, in RoboCop, but I'm not so fresh on Starship Troopers.
Yeah, all the war propaganda. It's brilliantly made. You know.
Yeah.
If you're into the satire stuff, otherwise I cannot understand how people didn't see that as a satire movie. No, it was really clear.
I mean, you have look at the actors they chose for the roles.
Casper Van Diem.
Yeah.
He's perfect. He was perfect.
No,
for
he
the
was
role.
perfect for the role. That's what I mean.
I don't know if you remember this, but they are actually located. They are all from I think they are from Chile or something like that.
Yeah.
From South America, and not one of them looks like South American.
Yeah.
So it's come on, it's a satire, but as a sci-fi adventure movie, it has really good scenes.
Yeah. And it has one of my favorite supporting actors, Michael Ironside.
Oh, come on.
Just the name.
One of the best villains, not in that movie, but one of the best villains of all time.
Yeah.
In several movies.
Oh, Total Recall. I just rewatched the other day.
Come on, whoa! In Total Recall, he loses 2 arms.
Yeah.
Here he doesn't have what?
A hand?
A hand or a leg? I don't know.
I forget.
Yeah, but poor man.
Yeah, and in Scanners, he's able to blow people's heads off.
Yeah,
So there's a weird connection here with dismembering.
Michael
Ironside.
So Starship Troopers and
Yeah,
RoboCop. We talked about these ones. No,
Actually, I just have one more on my list. I mean, we could go so many places with this. So the next one on my list, I imagine it's a lot of people's favorite movie, Fight Club.
I have that here. Yeah.
I mean, it's based on a novel by I forget the writer, Chuck Palahniuk. Yeah, that's the name.
I know that's David Fincher directing. But
Yeah, it's David Fincher. Obviously, everybody knows Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and Meatloaf. Not a lot of people know that Meatloaf is in the movie. Do you remember Man Tits Bob?
It's Meatloaf.
It's Meatloaf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man Tits Bob.
Man Tits Bob. So that's Meatloaf. Not a lot of people know that. And one of, in my view, Helena Bonham Carter's most perfect roles.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a little trivia for you. There's a scene when she's being fucked by Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
They're having this sex scene, and then the what you see is right at the end when they finish, she just rolls off Tyler Durden, and she says, "Wow, I hadn't been fucked like that since grade school."
Yeah.
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 That actually went through censorship because that's not the original line.
Yeah.
That was not the original line. No. The original line was a little harsher. I think it was something like, I haven't been fucked like that since first grade.
Ah, come on. Yeah, but great.
It's still kind of... Okay, so anyway, really good movie. What does it satire? What is it satirizing? So many things.
Yeah, so many layers there.
Yeah, there's so many layers to it. One of my favorite parts is when they corner a politician in the bathroom at a party.
Yeah.
And Tyler Durden says, "Do not fuck with us. We wash your cars. We drive your cars. We cook the food you eat. We wash the clothes you wear. We are everywhere. Do not fuck with us."
The blue color.
Yes, it's such an amazing movie. Obviously, everybody knows the twist by now.
Yeah.
But even without that twist, I mean, it's a great twist. Don't get me wrong.
But it doesn't.
It would survive so well without that twist as well.
Yeah.
It's that rich of a movie.
It is.
So what did you like about Fight Club?
All that you said, actually.
Can you be original just this once? I promise I won't ask you for that anymore.
Well, the acting of Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, but I don't know. I'm more of a Brad Pitt guy, so I think he. No, I think I wasn't expecting the twist, actually.
Yeah,
when I first saw the movie, but I didn't remember that it was Helena Bonham Carter in the movie.
In the movie, yeah.
I'm sad that she doesn't do that type of roles anymore. You know.
Well, yeah, she does this quirky thing now.
Well, with Tim Burton, always the same thing, more or less.
More or less, I think.
But I don't.
Yeah, I think. I rewatched Big Fish recently, and I think she was really good in Big Fish.
No, she was.
She wasn't. I mean, I like her.
It's not my favorite Tim Burton movie.
Well, I know. It's not full blown Tim Burton, but I think it's so well balanced. And she wasn't just the offbeat character. She had a lot of humanity to her, and it was really good to watch. In this one, she's so obviously a bitter, broken woman. Yeah. She just fit the part. One of my favorite lines of the movie is also when Edward Norton's character they're fighting and he beats Jared Leto to a bloody pulp. It also stars Jared Leto.
Really?
Yeah, he's the blonde kid. Remember
okay.
The pretty blonde kid, and he's going berserk with all everything that's happening, and he's kind of losing control. So when he goes into the ring to fight Jared Leto, he dominates Jared Leto, and he doesn't stop punching his face. He just goes punch, just keeps punching. Everybody's clapping, and then they stop clapping. He's still punching. He's mashing his face in basically, and he stands up, walks over to Tyler Durden, and Tyler just says, "Where did you go, psycho boy?" And Edward Norton just replies, I felt like destroying something beautiful." Oh, that's a really intense thing. So Chuck Palahniuk, really good writing there, and just a great movie. Also criticizing standards of the Western society's standards of living and social etiquettes. Really good.
And the psychosis in so many people. No.
Yeah.
The thing that you cannot express a lot of things, and in that way you have to express it through a fight club as well.
Yeah, I think you said that, and it instantly came to me that it touches on a lot of points that American Psycho touched as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that obsession of Edward Norton's character buying everything he saw, being sold on those ad networks, advertisement networks.
And the directing is spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular. Okay, this was my last one, by the way.
I can wrap it up. For example, Blazing Saddles by Mel Brooks.
Nell Brooks? That's Mel Brooks' sister. I'm kidding.
From 1974 with Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder, for example.
Yeah.
Really, really good movie as well. I saw it when I was a kid. I remember only the fart scene because of the beans. Yeah, I remember the stuff, but that's what
stuck in your head
as a kid.
Blazing Saddles, really good.
American Beauty. Come on, you love that movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
So why didn't you?
Because I thought we would run late.
Okay. So by Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes
with Kevin Spacey.
Interesting thing though, Sam Mendes and Ellen Ball. Ellen Ball was the writer.
Okay.
Yeah. So when 6 Feet Under came out.
The series,
it's written and I believe directed by Alan Ball.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
I think it's, at least the first episode, I think is Sam Mendes, but then Alan Ball also directed. I was hoping for that kind of vibe. Well, not vibe, but the in-depth look at characters. I wouldn't call it psychosis, but obsessions.
Okay, I've never seen.
Yeah, I watched a couple of episodes and I thought that the first season was really good. But then it kind of lost its way, and it's a shame.
Okay.
And I'm glad that American Beauty got the chance to become one of those cult films.
It is.
That the series could have become.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it's such a wonderful movie. And the soundtrack, Thomas Newman, come on.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
The Truman Show.
Yep, had that one too. God damn it.
One of my favorite
one of my favorite films and one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, Peter Weir?
Yeah, exactly. Peter Weir. Remember me telling you about Jeff Bridges?
Yes.
So he directed one of my favorite... actually, this is probably... If I had to choose one movie...
I know what movie it is.
Yeah, you do, but people don't, so stop it.
Okay.
People don't know me as well as you. This is becoming like a...
Lots of crickets in this movie.
I need to take a bath after this one. Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
he directed one of my favorite movies. I keep saying this, but we're discussing a lot of my favorite movies. But this movie in particular is probably, if I were asked to name one movie that reflected my personality in so many regards, it would be Fearless. Peter Weir, Fearless, 1993, starring Jeff Bridges, and guess who plays Jeff Bridges' wife in that movie?
I don't remember.
You mentioned her before, an Italian actress.
Isabella Rossellini?
Exactly.
Fearless is that movie where he is...
survives a plane crash.
Yeah, and that scene with the strawberries and that scene against the wall.
Against the wall,
I wasn't expecting that. I thought that you were going to say The Big Lebowski.
Oh, The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is the reason why I love Jeff Bridges. He's made so many movies great.
But that Fearless, yes. Is
one
of my
listen, Fearless, The Fisher King... Those two movies, back to back, if you watch them, you'll just be in a different state of mind. It's like having an out-of-body experience for me. But the Fearless in particular, it touches on so many levels of existentialism that I'm always thinking about. And hey, here's a good way to tie it all together.
Okay.
Jeff Bridges' lawyer in that movie is Amadeus. It's the same actor.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, the same actor that played Amadeus Mozart plays the character's lawyer.
Didn't remember that.
Yeah, no, listen, I know this because I've watched the movie so many times. And it's so wonderful. One of my favorite lines from the movie is it's I forget. Well, it's not a line. Wait a minute. It's not a line. What my favorite idea in the movie is that the character thinks he already died. So that means he cannot die again. Hence the strawberry scene that he was allergic to, but apparently it didn't kill him. And one of my favorite moments of the movie is when he's with Rosie Perez's character in a supermarket or a mall. I think it's a mall. And Rosie Perez, she lost her baby
during the
plane crash. Yeah. He believes he's already dead. So he says, hey, how about we buy presents for the ones that already died with us? Let's buy presents for the dead. Yeah, it's such a great scene. Oh, man. And by the way, Benicio del Toro is also in that movie.
I don't remember that.
I know,
have to see that movie again.
It's really worth it. It's really, really worth it. And it's so good that it's hard for me to watch it. You know?
Yeah, I know. It's that kind of movie. Another one.
So, and again, sorry, we were not discussing Fearless. I'm sorry. We were discussing Truman Show.
No, Truman. No,
I'm sorry.
I'm wrapping it up. Okay. So but Truman Show is one of my favorite films, and I think it's at the same time, more or less. There was another movie with Matthew. Was it with Matthew McConaughey? At TV.
At TV, right.
It was more or less in the same time, right?
It was the True Detective guys, Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Exactly.
Both of them.
But it was more or less at the same time that.
Pretty much. I think Truman Show was a little after At TV, if I'm not mistaken.
But it's more or less the same thing.
The idea that you get followed around by cameras all day.
Reality TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one.
Yeah.
Birdman.
Okay.
I know that you.
I love that. Well, Michael Keaton, of course.
And this one, Natural Born Killers.
Right.
This is a heavy movie.
It is.
And I think Quentin Tarantino was involved in some part. I think it was in the writing process or something like that. I don't know. But yes, this is it's not one of my favorite movies, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's a punch to the stomach. Is what it is.
It is. It's with with Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, I miss,
and Robert Downey Jr.
As well.
Who's playing the journalist, the crazy journalist. Yeah.
I wonder how Robert Downey Jr. was feeling during that time, because nowadays he's again in the top of the mountain. Yeah,
but back then he was having trouble with the police.
I don't know if it was during this time.
I think it was after.
That guy.
Wow. Yeah, he had a troubled life, but hey, he's a talented guy, and it's really good to see him.
Yeah, back on the
saddle. I wish and I hope that he goes back to doing weird
non-Marvel movies.
Non-Marvel, yes, but A movies.
More risky movies.
Mainstream. Jesus, mainstream movies. Mainline. All right, mainstream movies. I think we talk about Tropic Thunder. How good was he in that?
Yeah,
he was amazing. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He was really good.
Exactly.
Just on the point of the Truman Show and At TV.
Yes.
At TV was 1999. Came out 1 year later after Truman Show. Truman Show is 1998.
Okay, but it was around the same time.
It was around the same time. Yeah.
And just one more.
Jenna Elfman was in At TV.
It was
an old crush of mine.
Oh. Then she was in the series, right?
And Dharma and Greg.
Exactly.
Really good.
Greg, District 9.
Okay, yeah.
That's a really good
Blomqvist, right?
Yeah, Neil Blomqvist.
Neil Blomqvist.
No, Neil Blomkamp or something like that.
Neil Blomkamp? Oh yeah, Blomqvist. Never mind.
Blomqvist. What are you saying?
I think is a Bond villain. I think Blomqvist. I think is a man. No, wait a minute. I'm gonna look it up. So,
but Bond porn fist.
Yes, if anybody wants to make a Bond porno, Blomqvist might be a good name for a character. It's
a really good appetite.
Neil Blomkamp. Yes, you're right. Blomkamp. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Great
really
movie,
good
2009.
appetite parable. You know, it's really good.
You know what I hated about that movie and also thought it was brilliant?
What?
The aliens.
What did you hate?
I hate the look of them.
Yeah, but
They look
like cockroaches.
hideous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's good.
I know that's the point. I hate it because it brings that out in me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And you see the guy turning into.
It's like prawns. They look like prawns. They call them prawns. In the movie, they call them prawns.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they call them the prawns.
Weren't they supposed to do a
second one? I think so. I think actually...
it was in the works, right?
I think it was in the works, and I think it was because... oh, man. I'm drawing a blank. The director of Lord of the Rings is...
I was going to say Howard Sharp, but no, it's Jackson.
Peter Jackson was associated somehow with District 9. Let me just...
I think what was... it was because of Weta, right? Because of the effects.
Oh, I think it was... I think it was involved in the production department, I think. Let me just...
Okay.
Production department, sound department, production management. No, I'm completely wrong. How good is it when you're completely wrong?
Yeah, well, we were tired.
Well, yeah. But anyway, District 9 is one of those movies that are visually hard to take in. Visually, it's so gruesome, right? But the idea is pretty good, and I love the main actor. I think he was really good. And then he went on to do what?
Several movies, but
the A-Team. He was Murdoch.
He was Murdoch?
He was.
Yeah, but he did other good movies.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Yeah, great guy actually. I met him the other day. No, he's a cool cat. I think he's one of those guys that you and I would love to go out with for a drink.
Yeah.
As a good, yeah. Let's keep fantasizing. I think this is where we're headed.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going into the bonus topic jar. And let's hope it's a quick one because I need to go to the bathroom. All right. So it's time. We only have just a couple of minutes left. Let's see what the bonus topic... Wait a minute. We have a caller. Okay. Minus bonus topic. Let's see what the caller has to say.
Let's go.
Yeah. You want to take this one? No, you take this one.
Hello?
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 Yeah, hi. Yeah. Thank you.
What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Yeah, I was listening to the podcast, and
Thank you.
I was just... Yeah, no problem. You guys put up a good show, and my wife and I we like to watch it, listen to it. And I was actually here with my son, and he was telling me that he always considered Terminator to be a really good satire franchise. I never saw it because it sounded to me it was always kiddie stuff. It's not. I didn't want to. I'm not the guy that watches that kind of movie. I'm a Western guy, so I wouldn't. Anyway.
Okay.
What do you think about the idea that the Terminator can be a satire movie? Because he's telling me about machines and the way of, I don't know, artificial intelligence. I see that a lot in the news, and you mentioned how some movies become documentaries, even if you didn't want them to. So what do you think about that? I was just curious. Yeah.
Well, first of all, thanks for calling. And
what? What? Hello?
Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you? Yeah. No. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
Thanks.
No problem.
Okay. Best regards to your wife and your son. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Answering the question.
Sorry, man. Yeah, what happened?
The caller was asking if.
The Terminator. Yeah, I heard that one. So yeah, go ahead.
I think the first two I can see that as the whole concept I can see that as a satire or a warning of some kind because of technology or some stuff like that. Alongside with more or less with RoboCop.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the concept itself, yeah.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thought. I would say, what would it be satirizing in the 80s? right? If it was a satire, the first one came out in '84. Were we talking about artificial intelligence in the '80s?
I don't know.
Well, The Net with Sandra Bullock came out in
No, that
1990
was-
something, and
yeah.
we were talking about
In the
mass
80s,
surveillance.
in the 80s, we could be talking about computers a lot.
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
computers.
Video games. It was the
boom of
especially
video
in
games,
the first one. In the first one, it was I don't know it was in the beginning of the 80s or the end of the 70s.
Ooh, which one? The first
The first one.
I think it was 80s because it was James Cameron, and Cameron came to.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I'll look it up, but I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was 80.
Yeah,
84.
Maybe relating to computers and the massive use of computers and the it was from
84. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
okay.
84. Yeah.
and the fear of the machines taking over. It's a straightforward thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of a stretch to call it a satire.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if your son is right. If he's listening, hey, sorry, you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. You're not wrong. But you can put it under the satire lens nowadays, I think, because we see what our dependence on machines is driving us toward. It's driving us toward that limbo where we don't know if we're in control of machines or they're in control of us. Nowadays, that's an interesting suggestion. However, I don't know if back in '84 they had that in mind. But then again, Idiocracy they just wanted to make
A comedy.
a comedy movie, and now
Yeah.
it's kind of you see it everywhere. Some of those things. So yeah, maybe in retrospect, it can be a satire of our dependence on machines. If you depend on machines to defend yourself, for example, these artificial intelligence drones, if you depend on them to defend you, what happens when they become self-aware?
Yeah.
Right? I guess that's the fear of the machines, and that's the fear of the rise of the machines, which I didn't like the movie. I mean, Terminator: The Rise of the Machines.
After the second.
The second one, yeah, no. But maybe in a weird way, maybe it's, I wouldn't say satirizes, but it illustrates the notion of what you think your impact is going to be in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put yourself in John Connor's shoes,
Yeah.
it's like he's just a kid, and how can he be the leader of a resistance if he's just a kid? So maybe I wouldn't call it a satire, but I do understand the point of being fearful of this tendency of putting all our eggs in one basket, as in we're depending too much on machines.
Trusting too much in
Is that a worry?
Yeah.
I guess it's a worry. I mean, it's been on the news. So yeah, I guess that's what we have to say. But hey, cool special effects. The first one and the second one.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right. This is the BASTERCAST 4. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to explore the rest of our work, listen to the other BASTERCAST sessions, and obviously go to the Audio Tales tab. Listen to our Audio Tales, more coming soon, so stay tuned. Subscribe, hit the bell to get some notifications. Let us know what you think. Let us know your comments. If you watch any of these movies that we mentioned, please let us know what your experience was. We want to know.
Well, visit us on Instagram and every other
Social
network we're in, and pay us a visit. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
pay us a visit. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you back on the flip side.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, you bastard. Did you know we do a lot more than podcasts? What, you don't believe me? Check out these 2 videos. Still here, huh? Well, then I dare you to click that subscribe button. What are you, chicken? Do it. And hit that like button and the bell while you're at it. See you soon.